everyone! Welcome back to some Unicorn Overlord. We had another report stream. We're just gonna jump into the mix of things, see how far we can get in a couple hours. Hopefully we'll make it through the rest of the way. Probably not. But, you know, we'll put a big dent in there and see how it goes. So we are on Eltalinde. Let's knock out the one-parters. So Eltalinde and Lex. Yeah, I'm cutting stuff. Eltalinde and Lex. Yata! You know, the more time I spend with you, or the more I spend time with you, the more I realize how similar you and Rosalinde look. That takes time? I mean, really? I shouldn't think that much of a surprise. We are sisters after all. Well, maybe, but look, don't take this the wrong way, but I don't think I get how race works over here in Elheim. It's quite simple, really. Our father is an elf, while our mother is a dark elf. And rather than combine their traits like what happens with humans, the offspring of such a pairing will either be one or the other. Huh. I think I get it. But now I'm just wondering how they met in the first place. I'd be delighted to share the story if you have the interest. It began when my grandmother, our former Turanos, visited Quantapelt. She had brought my father along for the journey, and it was there he laid eyes upon the most beautiful elf he'd ever seen. Day after day he returned to the cavernous city to shower her with gifts from the surface. Fresh-picked flowers one moment, handiworks from our finest artisans the next. Must have really been crazy about her, huh? In time, my mother found herself drawn to the surface, and my father, of course. The two were soon wed, thus dedicating themselves to the good of Elheim and the unity of our races. What happened to them? And that's how a dark elf like your mom ended up Turanos. Oh, okay. Indeed, but a great many opposed her ascent, claiming only the fair-skinned may rule our lands. Yet, having witnessed the love my parents bore for each other, her fellow dark elves came to her defense, until at last all who opposed her reign relented. Guess it all worked out in the end. Created quite a tale in the process, yes. Through their marriage, the age-old rift between our disparate races could finally begin to heal. Rosalinde and I actually regard it as an inspiration of sorts. The lessons we've learned from our parents carry forth in our own desire to make peace with humans, no matter how ingrained prejudice may be in our lands. The good news is we're fighting Zenoira, not each other. And sure, some of your folks might not trust us all the way, but plenty more were singing our praises when we drove those bastards out of your towns. Hell, by the time this war is over and done with, I bet humans and elves will be the best of friends. I only hope I can aid in that pursuit, however minor my contribution may be. Pretty sure you have a pretty major contribution to that, but, you know. Alright. Scarlet and Eltalinde. What you staring at? Because you ain't looking at me, you looking across me. He loves me not. He loves me, he loves me not. He loves me, he loves me not. Ugh. I could do this 1,000 times and it would always end the same way. Probably because... What offense have our flowers committed to see you tear an entire field apart petal by petal? Eltalinde, well, I was hoping I might do a little flower reading, and I thought there'd be no better place than Elheim. And what's that, pray tell? You not know? You pull the petals... This sounds like such a bad thing to tell an elf. You pull the petals off a flower while saying he loves me, or he loves me not, with each petal picked. Whichever you say as you pick the last one tells you how the person feels about you. I see. It's difficult for me to say, Scarlet, but that's stupid. Oh, no. If you only ever use one type of flower, like the ones found in this field here, your result will always be the same. That is, they all have the same number of petals. Hence, if you want this ritual to end with a favorable result, you'll have to first find the correct breed of flower. One with an odd number of petals, I mean. You surely can't be serious. Why not? If you already knew what would happen before you started, then it wouldn't be much of a game now, would it? That's true, yes. But are you not doing this in pursuit of a positive fortune? I'm certain it would be painful indeed to be met with failure at each occasion. Yet, if you find the divination process itself to bear meaning, then I suppose no amount of disappointment could ever subdue you. Matter of the heart, Eltalinde, not logic. Here, maybe you'll understand if you try it for yourself. I brought this flower from Cornea, too, so you'll have no idea how many petals it has. I'm gonna laugh when Eltalinde gets "he loves me." If that's what you wish, then very well. And forgive me, I should never have offered my opinion without first experiencing it on my own. Lane loves... Oh no! Don't say the name out loud! He loves me not. He loves me? Wait, why did you choose Elaine? He loves me not. He loves me. He loves me not. He loves me. Fucking knew it. Not so fast there! You still have a petal left! I do, yes. Did you give me that flower knowing it had an even number of petals? I wouldn't dream of it. Now you understand, right? How horrible it feels to end on a "he loves me not." Such a stupid thing. Indeed, I can't say I was terribly concerned about my relationship with Elaine before, but this reading has only served to sow deep the seed of doubt in my heart. My mind is set. I'll not rest until I find an odd-petaled flower capable of mending this grave portent. Hold on, Eltalinde. Something tells me you're still not getting the point of all this. What is the point of all this? What? What is the point, then? Scarlet? We'll do Linolagos first. He seems like the odd person out in this match. So we'll do that. Eltalinde and Linolagos. Hello there, Linolagos. In some time, Terras. Is there aught I can assist you with? There is, in fact. Might I speak with you for a moment? Of course. Please go on. Do you remember when we were children and I would sneak out of the castle to roam the city with you? It was a time I'll never forget for the rest of my days. I thought you were, like, mostly imprisoned. Right? Like, didn't we hear Tell earlier that, like, she wasn't really allowed to leave the castle much? I guess if she's sneaking out, that's the scenario. In truth, those moments are what gave me the strength to endure the rigors of my training to become Tyrannos. Ah. Tell me, what caused us to grow apart all those years ago? Distance, and time, and duty. I should think it obvious. A commoner such as I, bears no right to associate with one of your royal blood, even if I myself wished for it. I've thought much on this matter over the passing moons, Linolagos, yet I fail to see how our friendship could ever warrant such a cold and bitter end. I must know, do you regret the time we spent together even now? My only regret is ever having left your side. Time? Question mark? You know. It do be that way. How's it going, Jeff? You recall the day I learned who you truly were. You asked me to join your personal guard without so much as a moment's hesitation. And as much as I may have wanted it, I couldn't bring myself to accept the offer. Yet upon hearing that Lorehall had fallen, I wished with every ounce of my being that I had. If only I had been there that horrible day, perhaps those fiends would never even have reached your door. Should that truly be how you feel, Linolagos, then I pray you'll not make the same mistake twice. Allow me to ask you again. Would you do me the honor of joining my personal guard? I suppose years too late is better than never at all. I would love nothing more, Terras. Nice. That's cool. Not as much... There's so much, like, self-doubt and, like, guilt in a lot of these rapport conversations. That was there was still self-doubt and guilt in that one, but less, I suppose. Wait a second. Is it this one over here? Dang. Get off the fence! Please, in the future, designers, just Go directly to jail. Go directly, like, when you click on the report, just take me there immediately and play it. There you are, Linolagos. Is there aught I can help you with, Terrace? Merely something I wish for you to know. It concerns our time together as children. Go on, then. Amidst all those hours we spent roaming the city, enjoying our time together until the sun made its nest neath the horizon, I often thought of you almost as a brother of my own. Yet even as a child, I knew what would happen if you ever learned I was our nation's Tyrannos. No longer would I be able to treat you as the second sibling I never had. Thus, I withheld the truth rather than bear its consequences. It was an act most selfish of me. But, Terrace, even now I yearn for the childish innocence we've long since lost. You may now stand a member of my personal guard, but I so desperately wish you could be my brother instead. Granted, such thoughts are hardly appropriate given our social distinctions. Yet I would ask that you indulge them all the same, one final time. Please, let us relive our youth, then never speak of this again. Or just adopt him into your family. I am proud of you, Eltalinde, of everything you are and everything you've become these past 10 years. And I'd like you to know that our time together was just as important to me as it was to you. It is a memory I'll treasure greater than any other for as long as I walk this sacred earth. Thank you, my brother. That was nice. That was refreshing. Simple and clean. I'm expecting, like, big stuff for Rosalinde and Eltalinde. So, let's see how this goes. Look, they're two little... Not identical! They're not identical. They're slightly different. One has upturned ears, and the other has downturned ears. Rosalinde, wait! What seems to be the matter? Well, it seems as though... It seems as though you've been avoiding me of late. And whenever we do find occasion to speak, it's only ever about war, nothing else. We've yet to even find time to have tea together. Feeling lonely without your Ianisa? I can't remember exactly how they said that. To keep you company, I see. Is there a problem with that? Not at all. I'm actually glad to see you so desperate to overcome my disregard. You mean to imply you've been avoiding me on purpose, even knowing how alone I felt in your absence? I'm sorry, Venisa. Again, it's been too long since I've actually heard these. I really wish that all of these things were voice acted. Obviously, right, like that's a lot of extra money to pour into a game, but it really does make a difference. It's just too fun not to tease you every now and then. How cruel. I only ever wish to spend time with you, and this is my reward? Pardon the interruption, my lady. I come with a report concerning the guards for your sister and... Now's not the best time, as I think you can see. Of course, my lady. We'll speak more of this later. Do you care to explain? Well, there's no point in hiding it now. I asked a few of Elaine's soldiers to watch over you for me. Given what happened to Lorehall, I was afraid that elven guards alone wouldn't be enough to keep you safe. But I didn't expect it would take quite so long to find humans I could trust with the task. That explains why you've been so busy. Forgive me, Ianisa. While you were acting out of concern for my well-being, I behaved like little more than a spoiled child. You didn't behave like a spoiled child, you just wanted to spend time with your sister. Enough of that, please. What really matters is that you wanted to spend time with me, and of course I with you. So, what do you say? Shall we head to town for that cup of tea you mentioned? I'd be glad to. There's so much I have to talk to you about. Okay, that's not too bad. That was less involved than I thought it was going to be. I guess we got, like, a lot of backstory from them and their sisterhood in the actual game, so no need to cover that in report, but that's really kind of what I was expecting, was more of that. Holm and Lex. What are y'all doing up here in Bastorius, eh? I must say, Ianisa, I'm still thinking about our most recent tea together. That cake you brought seemed every bit a real mushroom chocolate dirt. A real mushroom, chocolate dirt and all. Glad you liked it. I had it made especially for you, you know. The way its delicate flavors complemented the tea, I suppose I should never have expected anything less. To be honest, I had such fun that day I am certain a smile still graced my lips as I fell asleep. I got cat hair on my face. Yeah. It's good to see you're still as excitable as ever. I have to ask though, did you enjoy yourself as well, Ianissa? You always seem to be finding ways to make me happy, but I struggle to tell if you ever actually have any fun yourself. Oh, Eltalinde. You really have no idea, do you? What do you mean? Of course I had fun with you. How could you possibly ever think otherwise? It's merely... I don't know. At times it seems as though you know me even better than I know myself, while I feel like I can barely tell the first thing about you. So that's how it is. Then listen well, Eltalinde. I don't need tea or cake or anything else to make me happy. All I need is you. So if you really care about how I feel, you'll keep that smile of yours as warm and beautiful as ever. I should have known you would say something to that effect. And I feel exactly the same. Now let us enjoy the evening stars together. A little bland, honestly, for their conversation. I kind of would rather more, like they're sisters. Surely we could have had a moment to, like, learn more about them or have them share something. But, you know, it is what it is. Elaine and Eltalinde. This is definitely going to be one of those, but it was only a dream. I have to know, Elaine, what was your first impression upon arriving in Elheim? Woo, elves! Also, holy shit, this is high level. That was kind of my first impression. It would have been the greenery, of course. Oh, my finger. 'Tis a far more wondrous land than Cornia, with a nigh untouchable divinity to it. At times of solitude, it's even felt as though the trees themselves were likely to pick me up and carry me off to unknown shores. I can't deny the possibility. Our forest is a beautiful place indeed, yet shall show no sympathy towards those who threaten it. Didn't fuck with Zenoira that much, and while Zenoira's encroachment may have robbed the Fae of much of their strength, I'm certain they were ever vigilant in studying your actions, and presumably still are. Let us presume, then, that the forest were restored to its natural state. Would a mere word from your lips be enough to make me vanish for the rest of time? If the breath of evil in your heart demanded such measures, then yes. Yet I can't imagine that ever being the case. Not for the man who was so brave to deliver me from Zenoira's grasp. That has so many question marks to it, because if that's the case, it's like, okay, then how were you not able to just be like, Forest, this is Zenoira invasion force? No. My faith in you shall not waver, Elaine, no matter what events may lie ahead. Oh, got a little bump on the side of my thumb. I gotta stop scratching it. Not good to scratch it. Holy shit. An whole bevy of things cropping up over here. Elaine and Eltalinde. It is a fine morning, Eltalinde. Indeed it is, my prince. I pray the day ahead shall prove a fruitful one. Is something the matter? This distant formality is far more removed from the joyous girl of days prior. I speak of the moment you and the others came upon a rare variety of poisonous herb here in Cornia, of course. What a delightful moment it was, yet such outbursts were wholly inappropriate for one of my standing. There are rules I must uphold as the Tauranos of Elheim. A ban on consorting with foreign dignity is chief among them. Yeah, that's out the window, lady. No matter where my own personal feelings may lie on the subject. Yet, in my view, you seem to be fulfilling that duty perfectly well. When the occasion calls for it, you command great esteem in your role as Tauranos, while at others you simply let yourself exist as a mere elf among friends and nothing more. I suppose the issue here is my wishing to be your friend. All you did was express your delight at finding an herb. Anyone should be free to do the same, no matter what nation they, Eltalinde? You misunderstand. I speak not of my behavior when conversing with the others, but rather the emotions I have begun to bear for you. Hey, we don't get a blush from Elaine very frequently. Forgive me, I didn't mean to grab your hands like this. Oh wow, that's super lovey-dovey. Yet perhaps my doing so is testimony in itself, proof of the relationship I wish to foster with you. I wouldn't mind were that the case. We need a it was only a dream just on that number 2. We don't even need to go to number 3. Like, damn, game. Makes sense. Beneath the boughs of the great tree. Eltalinde. What is it, Elaine? Forgive me the outburst, but I can't say I expected you to embrace me like this. It's a method I learned from one of my retainers. According to them, the best way to show deep affection for someone is by holding them close and not letting go. That's not entirely incorrect, and yet, you find my actions odd, I understand. It's a difficult matter indeed to accurately study customs not found within Elheim's borders. Explains why you seemed so uncomfortable in doing so. We're blushing, Elaine. It appears we both are, yes. You ain't blushing. Perhaps I should have known this would be a struggle. How do you mean? I was only attempting to imitate your traditions as I was taught, yet all the while my heart pounded in my chest. I meant to be the leader of my nation, but these feelings only make it more difficult to maintain the distance such a role requires. Should our association prove a hindrance to the war effort, Elaine, I don't want to maintain that distance with you, Eltalinde. And the more our roles demand we stay at arm's length, the more I want to pull you close to me. I admit I'm happy to know I'm not the only one struggling with this. Try as we might, there will come a time we have to leave each other. It's simply the reality of our differing lifespans. Then that's all the more reason to spend as much time together now as we possibly can. That ill-fated mark of human and elf. You may just be right, Elaine. And it never happened. It was only a dream. Because the game will not allow us to have more than one waifu. Alright. Eltalinde done. Ithilien! Ooh, we'll go ahead and start with Elaine since it's only a one and done. Elaine and Ithilien. While I'm aware that Rosalinde's palace lies underground, what about you, Ithilien? Have you spent much of your life beneath the surface as well? I have. Until I joined her personal guard, I had little reason to leave our subterranean city, so I almost never did. The only light I ever saw was the orange hue of a magic lantern, or the occasional moonbeam filtering in through the entrance to the cavern. As a child, the sun was always more of a concept than an actual entity which existed in my world. It is difficult to imagine in all truth. No other race of Fevrith has most of their population consigned to a life secluded within the earth. Maybe not, but it has its benefits. For one, the insular nature of our cities means few invaders think to attack. And those that do often end up lost in a maze of corridors. I can only assume that's why Zenoira went after Lorehall instead. Cruel twist of fate indeed. Life was good before they turned up, you know. When I was a child, Ter Rosalinde would leave the city every now and then to travel to various regions of Elheim. And when she returned, she would tell us all the most incredible tales of the outside world. I can still remember the wonder that filled my heart with every word. The more I listened, the more certain I grew in my dream for the future. To accompany Ter Rosalinde on the journeys she recounted, to stand in her defense should the need ever arise. Which is why you now serve in her personal guard. Exactly. And though I don't like to admit it, I always used to think of her as a sister to me rather than any kind of dark elf royalty. I swear to you, Elaine, never again will the shadow of Zenoira hang over this nation. And no matter what happens in the course of this war, I'll always be there to protect Terra Rosalinde with my very life. I must. Yeah, that seemed fun. And see, like, that was actually kind of neat, because again, we got... I like the stories, or the rapports, that have some sort of additional information with them. World building or character building, right? That aren't just, oh, these two people are talking. Magellan and Ithilien, that seems like an odd pairing. Hold up, pal. Think you dropped something. Ah. So I don't know. This handkerchief looks kind of dainty for a stern guy like you. Unless you got it from a lady, of course. Leave it be. I've not seen her in some time now. Yet here you are, carrying her stuff around like it's the most important thing in the world. If you must know, she's a human woman who fled to these lands. A woman who are not subject to a life of violence and war. That wasn't so hard now, was it? Can't say I'm surprised, though. That kind of stuff happens everywhere these days. Me, I've never had much luck with the ladies myself. They're not calling me an unthinking oaf. They're busy claiming I spend too much time with my sister. I can imagine both quite vividly, I'm sorry to say. Now, this might sound odd coming from me, but my advice is this. Once you've found someone you care for, make sure you put them before everything else. You mean even Liza? Sorry, but I'm always gonna put my flesh and blood over some girl I just met. Then you have your answer right there. They can both be wrong. they can both be wrong. Little Lagos. Wait, not be happy. Nope. Ithilien and Little Lagos. Ithilien. Please, Little Lagos, embrace me any tighter and you'll squeeze the life out of me. Forgive me. I'm merely pleased to see that the little nuisance I once knew has grown into a fine young man. One who seemingly refuses to use anything but my full name now. Rather like Lynn, you know. Enough. I'm not a child anymore. Yes, I can see that. You stand a mighty warrior now. And having observed you in our most recent battle, I dare say your skill with the blade surpasses even my own. Do you really mean that? But of course. I'm the better archer, but... You've come a long way from your days of mischief, waving twigs at every fairy who dared venture too close. Spare me the mockery, I beg you. In all seriousness, though, it seems you were right to have chosen the blade rather than the bow. It was either that or live in your shadow for the rest of my life. But now I can stand on my own, unmatched in my prowess with the sword. Even now I shudder to think the shame I would feel if Ter Eltalinde were to see you coming to my rescue. Yet you've grown more than strong enough to ease such fears. Only because I had you teaching me. All the same, I'm certain Ter Rosalinde is proud indeed to have a fencer of your caliber at her side. That was nice. And we got to know that Linolagos used to be Ithilien's teacher. Alright, Rosalinde. The bigger one. Here we go. Nice work today, Ithilien. You never cease to impress me. Thank you, Terras. Before we head back, would you mind if I have a word? Oh? I'm not used to getting requests from you of all people. What is it then? A matter of the heart? Don't be absurd. Too bad. Well, go on. You remember the stories you used to tell me when I was still just a boy. The tales of your travels beyond our city walls. How could I forget? You always pretended not to pay attention, but it was obvious you were hanging on to my every word. I didn't think you had noticed. With the way your ears twitched in enthusiasm, it was impossible not to. I'm sorry, go on. The truth of the matter is, those stories were an inspiration. I often dreamt of a day I would leave the city myself as your loyal guardian. And now you've made that dream a reality, Terrace. I couldn't be more grateful for that. You needn't thank me, Athelion. It was only through your own effort that such feats were possible. In fact, I should be thanking you for providing me a peace of mind that few others can. Your words honor me. Speaking of stories, I was actually planning to share a few with the local children after we got back to town. You're welcome to join me if you'd like. Me, Terrace? I would be glad to, though I can't say I'll make for the best storyteller. Just have confidence, and I'm sure they'll love it. Now come, we shouldn't keep them waiting. But of course. Hey, a new generation! I like that concept, right? Like, he grew up hanging on her every word, her stories, became, you know, one of, if not the best swordsman in Elheim, and now he gets to tell tales to kids to influence them. Very cool. I have to know, Athelion, have you spoken to Alina at all after leaving Simtuka? That's the handkerchief girl. That's some way to start a conversation. I never did expect you to fall for a human, you know. Though I can't say I don't see their appeal. Still, this separation of yours is rather wasteful, don't you think? There are few things better in life than a good romance. You simply protected me when I was running from Zenoira. That's all. And even if it were romance, the gulf between elf and human is far too large to bridge. Their lifespans are a far bit shorter than ours, yes. That just makes them shine all the brighter. I'm sure you know that well enough by now. No matter what prejudiced fools might try to convince you otherwise. Enough of this, Terrace. All I could ever want is for Alina to live in peace, and staying away is the only way to ensure she does. It sounds to me like you really care for the girl. Maybe you could move to her village after the war, settle down, and abandon my post as your personal guard. Never. Athelion, please. There's more to life than duty and obligation. The more time you spend hesitating, the less you'll have to spend with her. So follow your heart, just as I would, before it's too late. If you still want to serve me 100 years from now, you'll be more than welcome. Oh, it won't take 100 years. I guess he could, like, take a break and, like, recover after the fact. But, you know, probably will not take that long. Alright, Celeste has so few. Adel and Fran. I'm gonna guess here. Adel and Celeste. Here we go. Adel, wait! That was amazing! Sorry, what are you talking about exactly? Our last battle, of course. The jabs of your spear, your russet locks flowing in the wind. You're cute. Little eyes... Wait. Why is there a comma there? Your cute little eyes as you deliver the final strike? She's very flirty. You're a true knight in every sense of the word, and the spitting image of the great hero I used to read about in storybooks. Oh, that's quite the comparison. Thank you. I'm no hero, just a simple soldier looking to keep his people safe. What does she mean by cute little eyes, I wonder? In truth, there could be no greater honor than riding to battle beside one as gallant as you. The ideal picture of chivalry, charging forth with blessed spear in hand. Please, Celeste, that's quite enough, I'd say. It's nowhere close. I'll continue to sing your praises from the first light of dawn till the radiant moon is nestled in the sky's embrace. How am I meant to respond to such fearless flattery? I beg you, no more, no more. And then he runs away. Very nice. Perhaps I let my emotions get the better of me. He truly does look like the hero from my book. The Valiant Adventures of the Red Squirrel Knight. What? Hold up. That's what she meant by cute little eyes? A fierce rodent warrior, marching to battle astride a faithful canine steed. Ah, I can imagine nothing more wonderful. Okay, that took a very weird turn. She's so strange. She's so strange and half-baked. Celeste and Fran, that makes sense. The two... I guess down here. The two Griffon Riders. Ugh. Fran, what seems to be the matter? Well, today was my turn to handle the laundry. A few minutes ago, a sudden wind blew all our clean clothes straight into the dirt. I only just finished gathering everything back up now. And even if I were to wash it all again, our clothes would never be dry by the time we set off from camp. That's some afternoon, yes. I might have an idea that can help, though. Once you've rewashed everything, try asking one of our sorcerers to conjure up a fire. We can then have our griffins fan the heat across the clothing, and they'll be dry before you know it. Sure, my luck can handle fire today. Honestly, we'd be more likely to torch the entire garrison. Then let's just fan everything instead. Me, you, and our griffins. That should still get it nice and dry again before sundown. The others might even come to lend a hand if they see how hard we're working out here. You'd really do that for me? Of course I would. I've been hoping the four of us would become friends someday anyway, so let's get to work. Oh, that's okay. See, that's kind of like one of those, less involved, doesn't have a lot of context or world building or character backstory or anything. Might I trouble you for a moment, Celeste? It pertains to the banquet that was thrown for us after we liberated the nearby town. What about it? Well, 'tis merely that I noticed you putting a rather exorbitant amount of salt and pepper on your food. Do you remember doing so? Yes. You mean to say that it was intentional, then? I thought the ale had gotten the better of you. I suppose my true question is, do you always eat in such a manner? Not generally, no. But I was so nervous sitting next to you that I could barely taste a thing. What? Never heard of such a phenomenon. I didn't want to let the feast go to waste, though, so I poured as much seasoning as I could to try and enhance the flavor. That's quite an inventive solution. Forgive me, Celeste, I failed to realize the hardship my presence caused you. Not your fault, Prince. I'm just too shy for my own good sometimes. Really? Because it didn't seem like it with Elaine. Or Adel. Awfully skilled at hiding, if so. Assuming it's me that causes you the most worry, perhaps we can help you grow accustomed to my company. Let us try shaking hands to begin with. Okay. Celeste, you're burning up. Are you feeling ill at all? Wait here whilst I summon a healer. Plugging in language like that. I'm fine, really. It's only the nerves getting to me a little. It may prove more difficult than I expected. Interesting. For Celeste. Pretty close to where we got her. Your temperature seems rather normal today, Celeste. Perhaps you've finally grown somewhat used to my presence. I believe I have, after all these mornings we've spent shaking hands. Giggity. Then the venture was well worth it, I'd say. Even if it meant being teased by Lex every time he walked by. Is something funny? Well, I'd never shaken the hand of a prince before we started doing all this practice. Every time I do, it feels like I've become a princess just for a moment. One with neither castle nor crown, I should remind you. It's strange to think, without this war, we likely would never have even met each other. Sorry, I seem to have let myself get carried away for a second there. I don't say that to reprimand you, Celeste. I merely find it beautiful, How even the most terrible of situations can give rise to so many fine friendships, and potentially more than that. So should it bring you joy to think of yourself as a princess, I'll not tell you to do otherwise. Elaine, I spent much of my time as a child reading fairy tales, grand stories of royal families and fearless adventurers. Often I would close my eyes and imagine I was a character in one myself, and to hear you speak such kind words to me, I'm starting to wonder if I truly am. It's a fine thought, yes. And come, a song to sing with the animals of the forest. Perhaps we needn't go that far into the fantasy. It's going to be so much fun. See, I feel like Celeste could have been a more robust character, but she's just not filled out. Suppose I wouldn't mind humoring her for at least a little while. Like, they could have turned her into the really likes to read books girl and slash Griffin girl, and every conversation has something to do with some other book that she read, and all these, like, misinterpreted situations, like with Adel, where she's, like, basically describing how a person reminds her of a character from a book. And then you can get a whole bunch of these scenarios where it's like, like one feels complimented, one feels awkward, one feels, reprimanded, one feels embarrassed, right? Yada, 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 yada. And then at the end of each one, she basically, like, subverts expectations by revealing that the character or the book is not how we expected, right? And that could be like a cool little character niche for her, but she has 3 conversations and shows up twice in the story. She unfortunately is probably the most underbaked character in the game. Which is another reason why I think she probably should just be cut. Cut her. All right. Ooh. Gilbert's a prince, so I guess it makes sense, but he's got a lot. He's got 4 3s. All right, let's just do the ones. We'll start with Travis. Levisa. Open it's over here. That's Berengaria. We got to do that one anyways, so. Berengaria. How are you feeling? Better, thanks. Sorry about all that. There's no trouble in the slightest. Though I must ask, why do you not stand by Travis to comfort him in his time of need? First, let me tell you what it's like getting put under that bastard Baltro's control. Thoughts of my brother were the first to go. I was consumed, haunted by an all-encompassing thirst for vengeance. And then, silence. No cares in the world. No worries, no pain. Almost like I was fast asleep at the bottom of the ocean. Made me wonder if things weren't better off that way. Hence, you feel guilt for ever succumbing to its allure. It was all nonsense, of course. And now that I have my body back, the only thought I've got left for Zenoira is hate. Yet there's not a person alive who doesn't wish to let go of something. Countless souls suffer under the weight of who others expect them to be, myself included. You understand, then? After what I've done, Gilbert, I don't deserve to stroll back in like nothing happened. And no matter how much I want to pull him close and apologize, I feel wrong for even reaching out my arm. I abandoned my own brother when he needed me most. Abandoned myself, too. But I'm fixing things little by little. Getting my revenge is just one small part of that. Appreciate the concern, though. Oh, that was okay. I imagine Ludwig thinks much the same as she does. Yet whether or not he feels he deserves it, there is no greater ally nor friend than your very kin. Would that he could see it for himself. Otis, you're getting real loud over there with them snores, my boy. Real loud snorings from the Otis. Okay, it's got to be this one up here then, right? Surely. Gilbert and Travis. Ba, ba, ba. Tell me, Travis, why do you refuse to meet my gaze? Isn't it obvious? It's because I'm embarrassed. Sure you remember walking in on me and Ren apologizing to each other after we took Soldraga back. Nothing to be ashamed of. Ludwig and I embraced in a similar way, I'll have you know. I guess that stuff's the same no matter what class you're born into. Indeed, beneath the crown and crest, a king is no different than any other man. Makes it all the more impressive that you're running this country all by yourself. Just tracking down my sister was trouble enough for me. But that was no minor task, and Elaine had naught but praise for the manner in which you carried it out. I'm proud to call you a citizen of Drakenhold, Travis. A citizen of Drakenhold? Question mark? I only pray that our relations with House Zexhelm may grow ever stronger in the days to come. Sounds like we're agreed on that, at least. Oh, and if there's ever anything we can do for you, just let me know. Same goes for Ren. I actually get the feeling she's starting to like this place again, thanks to you. I'm honored to hear that. And I hope with every ounce of my being that one day all of our people may feel the same as her. That was nice. Gilbert seems like a fine guy. Okay, gonna save them for last. Jeremy and Gloucester. Hey, boss. Nothing like a good drink to keep the old spirits high. Pardon me, barkeep. I'd like to sample a flagon of your finest mead, if you would. What's a king doing in a run-down little alehouse like this? How else shall I experience the life of a commoner in my charge? Not to mention, I've heard the fare here is quite palatable indeed. All of you march for the liberation, yes? Worry not. Your meals this eve shall come straight from the royal treasury. Now let us drink to a day well won and greater luck in the battles ahead. How am I supposed to relax now? One wrong word and my head will be decorating the walls of Soldraga. Unless, maybe this is just the chance I've been waiting for. Listen, boss. This your first time here, yeah? How about I show you how it's done? Your name was Jeremy, was it? I would be much obliged, thank you. Alright, first things first. This kind of place is more than just drinking. You gotta eat, too. Not with a knife and fork. You think this is one of your fancy feasts? My apologies. The barkeep was kind enough to provide utensils, so I assumed it only proper that I make good use of them. Well, that's what you get for assuming. Slice that cheese even thinner, and it might as well not even exist. I do like thinly sliced cheese. Our drinks. Most common folk prefer to finish them in as few gulps as possible, yes? In that case, pray for me, friends. I do this in the name of knowledge. Hey, slow down there, boss. You don't gotta... This tavern is every word as magnificent as I had heard. Another round, barkeep. Guess the kid can drink more than I thought. But hey, I want to take it easy. Unless you're looking forward to a pounding headache in the morning. The rightful king shall never fear the pains of tomorrow. Now come, join me, Jeremy. Uh-oh. We got a long night ahead of us. That was a odd exchange. Oh shit, it's not over. It was truly a finer evening than I can remember. Ugh. Could have guessed free drinks to be this nerve-wracking. Maybe next time I'll just slip out the back when I see him coming in. You didn't have to make a big deal out of it. You could have just been like, oh, some free drinks. Cool. Done. Gloucester. Cool, I have no idea which one is him. Ellen and Hilda. Surely it'll be up here. Gloucester and Gilbert. Glouspert. It's good seeing you pick yourself up again, but thinking about the family I lost because of you, even if it wasn't really you in control, I don't know. Never once expected your forgiveness, my lady. I wish to apologize all the same. Truly sorry for the pain I've caused. If you really mean that, then leave. Never come back. Oof. A denizen of the desert, was she? My king. Apologies you had to witness that. Please, it's quite all right. It's a shameful thing to admit, but today is the first time I have ever set foot in Drakenhold's desert. I suppose I can't blame you for that. As you know, this land is no longer the penal colony it once was. That doesn't change how the rest of our nation views it. Many who seek a new life outside the desert are met with extreme discrimination, often failing to find work because of it. Most resort to banditry as a means to survive, thus perpetuating the cycle of distrust. My family owes this desert and its people a great debt. It was the kindness of these sands which saw my parents and I, still an infant at the time, survive being stranded in the scorching wilderness. So I'll not stand idly by while the world treats these generous souls as mere criminals and thieves. No, I shall aid them in breaking the chains of hatred and doubt which shackle them. Try as I might, the nobles of our nation have turned a deaf ear to my undying pleas. All except my brother, you mean? He never has been one to care for public sentiment. Indeed, and owing to my role in Prince Ludwig's royal guard, I was able to reside in the desert once more. I bear an immense respect for these people, my king, for their tenacity and their unity. Thank you, Gloucester. Allow me to express my own views as well. Once we rid this continent of the scourge of Zenoira, I plan to rebuild our nation from the ground up, to forge the steel of Drakenhold anew, stronger and sharper than ever before. In so doing, I wish to unmake the prejudice which has long plagued this desert. And when such a day comes, I would have you guide its people forth. You mean to make me the region's lord? I would be glad to accept, my king, but after all I've done, I could never deserve to rule even a single town. Then perhaps I shall entrust the matter to the nobles you mentioned prior, the same men who refused to answer your pleas. I understand you feel unprepared, but I can't claim any different. Even now I struggle to see myself worthy of the crown which rests upon my brow. But fleeing from my duty is not an option, no matter how much I wish it were. I may wish it to. But the same applies to you, Gloucester. Rule this desert with the very ideals you share with me here, and its people will surely accept you once more. I like that he doesn't have his arms in his coat. Must admit, King Gilbert is rather different from his brother. Though, if any is worthy of governing our nation, be him. Gloucester looks like such a cool guy, but I don't know that I like the Dark Knight class that much. Alright! Poof, goodness gracious. I actually think we'll go ahead and just do Elaine. Nyar. Find the right one. Oh boy. Game, please. Why? Why do you do this? Surely not. Gotta be just up here further. Sure. Tell me, Gilbert, are you satisfied with your decision to join our ranks? I most certainly am, and while I may have vacated the throne for the time being, Herman and my other retainers are more than capable of guiding Drakenhold forth in my absence. Not to mention the immeasurable debt I owe you in your liberation. In other words, yes, there is no place I would rather be. Please, mustn't speak of debt between us. I merely acted in the greatest interest of Fevrith as a whole, or so I wish to believe. Yet at times I wonder if that's merely a lie I tell myself to mask my insatiable thirst for revenge. I understand why you might believe as much, but were that truly the case, you would never have come to Dragonhold at all. Your deeds have saved countless lives, Elaine. Granted, hope to so many who have lost it, including myself. Even still, I fear there was but one reason for my rushing to your aid. It was not some grand design to see your nation restored, Gilbert, but the selfish desire to add your strength to our own. And where is the harm in such a thought? What matters most is that you marched to Dragonhold with the intent of freeing it, not why you chose to do so. Were you genuinely beholden to a lust for blood, you would never hear a word of counsel to the contrary. Rather than press forth into foreign lands, your sole aim would be striking at Galerius as swiftly as possible. At the conclusion of this war, Cornea's crown shall rest upon your brow, and a difficult restoration shall await your people. My father's reign saw no end to the strife between our nations, yet I, for one, wish to do just that, to live in peace as neighbors, as we rightly should. Pardon the lecture, Elaine. I should know better than to patronize a future king. The scourge of Zenoira is at last no more. What future awaits these lands? Good question. It's faster. Interesting that he has a threefer with Gilbert. Let us begin, Elaine. Indeed. Ooh, are they gonna duel? Huh. Oh, shit! Such is the bite of my royal blade. It's an impressive art, one which took all my effort to avoid, even with the knowledge it was coming. Shall we go again, then? Be my honor. Ready thyself, Elaine. What is the meaning of... Did he get him? Are you all right, Gilbert? Ah, 'tis but a flame bug. Doing to my leg. Wait, what? Hold up. Can we... 'Tis was only a dream to Gilbert. Merely sucking out the venom, of course. Do not have such insects in Dragonhold. If you fail to quickly tend to their bite, it will swell in size and begin to assail you with searing pain. This may hurt, Gilbert, but I ask that you suffer through it. Do such a thing, I assure you. Oh yeah, this is so like... That should be all. You encounter these flame bugs of yours often. It appears you have a wealth of experience in the matter. Would any child in Cornea? We're not in Cornea. We're in Elheim right now. Aren't we? Pretty sure we are. Though I suppose I did notice a conspicuous lack of insect life back in Dragonhold. Certainly compared to the massive swarms I would often encounter on Polevia. Do you fear them in much the same way Virginia does? You truly are an unusual prince, Elaine. Well, I understand now why Virginia approved of you. What do you mean? You didn't mention. Had she deemed you unworthy of the throne when you first set foot into Dragonhold, she planned to cut you down where you stood. That seems rather harsh. Yet not altogether unexpected. You had always hoped she would be the one to rebuild your nation, you know. And you've seen the extent of her skill with the blade. Such expertise can only come from years of dedicated training. It seemed at times that she wished to follow directly in Queen Elenia's regal footsteps. But 'tis a pursuit she would surely resume, should you ever be unfortunate enough to fall in battle. But be warned, Elaine, she'll not accept your failure kindly. Chilling notion indeed. You walk, Gilbert. Should get you to a healer with all haste. Let us be off. Should the day ever come that Elaine is crowned king, it shall surely be forever changed. Shall the rest of Beverith along with it. Interesting. Renault and Yosef. Gordon and Jeremy. Holm and Miriam. Gotta be one of these, right? Elaine and Gilbert. There we go. What's this vista panning? Yeah, talk about the dragons. Resplendent valley this is. I see now why Drakenhold is often said to be the birthplace of dragonkind. Indeed, marvels such as these are the grandest treasure our kingdom has to offer. It's nothing at all like the scenery you might see at home in Cornia. Have you heard the saying, Elaine? This nation exists in Cornia's shadow. I can't say I have, no. Perhaps Joseph never saw fit to mention it. Centuries past, your kingdom was embroiled in a war of succession between two siblings. Brother against brother, blood against blood. He who lost was banished to the wilderness, left disgraced to start life anew, and so he did. 'Twas then he formed a nation of his own, a nation we now know as Drakenhold. That doesn't really line up with the concept of the lore that we have heard before. Because where would that fit on the timeline of Zenoira invading Fevrith? Because if Zenoira invaded Fevrith in the past, there would kind of need to be nations to invade, you know? Oh, no. I never knew of such history, Gilbert. Drakenhold is not a wealthy place, nor is its barren soil suitable for crops or cattle. No matter how hard we toil, we shall never prosper as Cornia does. But for all its flaws, the people of Drakenhold shall always cling fast to the only home they have ever known. And the fire which burns within their breast is a flame of rebellion against the comfortable lives our neighbors are blessed with. Once, when I was but a child, we welcomed an envoy from Cornia into Soldraga's walls. My father prepared for them for the finest feast imaginable, filled with delicacies from every corner of the kingdom. As they set themselves at our banquet table, the only look which crossed their faces was one of disgust. Well, that's because they're an asshole. As an image sadly burned into my memory. All the while, my father could say nary a word in his defense. And seeing as the meal had scarcely been touched, he later bestowed it upon the castle's many servants. I'd never seen them eat quite so merrily before. From that day forth, I struggled to trust anyone who hailed from Cornian shores. Gilbert. Till I met you, that is. What about Virginia? Your kingdom is a proud one, blessed by many bounties beyond my greatest imagination. Yet such inequity can breed hatred, a truth often unnoticed by those more fortunate. Drakenhold is not the only land which suffers, Elaine. Astorius is covered in heavy snow the entire year round, while the soil of Albion lie infertile with salt. Cornia alone has been endowed with good fortune, so I ask that you remember these words. Heavy weigh the burdens of this long-standing imbalance, on no head more so than the King of Cornia himself. Hold true to your ideals, Elaine. Never lose sight of the person you become. He is a friend I admire quite dearly. That was a bit of an odd one. Or shall I let the crown change who I am? I shall ever strive to be a man you can admire, now and for the rest of my days. Interesting. That didn't quite end in the vein that I thought it was going to end in. Let's do Leia. We'll save Aramis for last. Game! Gilbert. Tell me, Leia, how fare your efforts of late? Well enough, Your Majesty. All is as calm with the princess as can be expected. Ah, allow me to reword the question. Is there anything you desire, Leia? A simple wish, a displeasure to stifle, or perhaps a dream left unfulfilled? Where is this coming from exactly? Long have you dedicated your life to my well-being, yet I rarely hear you speak a word of your own aspirations. If there's anything I can do to better your days, you need merely say so. In that case, I already have what I want, to serve you and our nation for as long as I live. Suspected you might say as much. Very well then. I've no choice but to supply you with a sizable jar filled to its brim with the pickled radishes you love so dearly. Dear Lord Jesus. Please, my king, I could never accept such a lavish gift. What? Yet accept it you shall. That is, unless you have another request to make of me. Well, I suppose I do have one dream. I'd very much like to gaze upon a three-headed beast. If that's so. I know the idea to be a fictitious one, but they appeared in every last of my favorite stories as a child. Challenging ambition to fulfill, yes. I'm glad to hear you voice it, even still. From this day forth, I shall scour all of Febrith for the most tenuous mention of a three-headed beast. I don't think it childish, Your Majesty. Of course not. Of course I do, but I will accept it anyways. No dream could ever be too fanciful, for that's precisely what makes them dreams, you see. Now my search shall take time, but I would be glad to provide you with literature from the castle library in the meanwhile. Thank you truly. If he shows up with a fucking Cerberus in the third portion of this conversation, I'm gonna be very jealous that I don't get to put a Cerberus unit into my fucking army. Although, how cool would it be if, again, right, like I mentioned this previously in talking about the rapports, it would be so cool in the rapports if each character, not with every other character, but each character could unlock something, whether that was a unique move, a unique piece of equipment, or even another unit, and that would be pretty fucking cool if you could unlock a Cerberus through this quest line with Leia, right? That would be pretty fucking dope. Wait, we're already in the place. Sorry. Sorry! Your Majesty. It's quite unlike you to be so agitated, Leia. What is it? I finished reading the literature you compiled for me. In truth, each volume was even more marvelous than the last. I had never heard such peculiar anecdotes regarding three-headed beasts before. And I have never seen you quite so relaxed, Leia. Oh, forgive me, Your Majesty. It seems as though I've forgotten my station. Please, you needn't apologize. I actually prefer it that way. It was for this very reason, in fact, that I offered you those books in the first place. For as long as I can remember, the only expression which crossed your face was that of austere formality. While I'll not discount your devotion to the throne, no amount of devotion will fill your heart as happiness can. Your Majesty. Furthermore, what hope have I of bringing joy to my people if I can't do the same for the woman who stands beside me? There's something the matter. I wish I could say there wasn't, but I can't overlook my earlier loss of composure. Even if you and I were the only souls here to witness, the fact still remains. I betrayed our standings and disrespected you all the while. Enough, Leia. Your joy is one and the same with my own, and there is nothing disrespectful about a simple smile. I kinda do wish this was a little more Fire Emblem-y. Even if there isn't any, like, effect from it, right? I do kinda wish I could pair people up and be like, oh, I want Leia and Gilbert to get together. I want Leia and Aramis to get together. You know? Like, playing matchmaker in a game like this is actually oddly satisfying. To a point, right? Like, if the game doesn't involve any, like, relationship mechanics or anything like that, then it seems kind of pointless. But this game does. It has Elaine gets to make a relationship with someone, but no one else gets to make a relationship with anyone, right? Like, I may not always show it, but there is no greater pleasure in life than standing in your service. And there is no greater smile than yours. Well, that was fun. We didn't get a three-headed dog, though, which is less than we could have hoped. Alright, Gilbert, let's do Virginia now. Berengaria and Travis, eh? Gilbert and Virginia. There we go. I have to say, Gilbert, it's good to see you actually know how to use that sword of yours. Most of the time, you just stand back and let Leia or Herman do all your fighting for you. It almost made me wonder if the blade at your waist was mere decoration. But you proved otherwise in that last battle. The relief to hear. And I assure you I never meant to conceal my prowess, neither from you nor anyone else. Oh, then what would you say to a little sparring match? I would refuse, of course. Come now, it will be fun. Not to mention the scandal you might face in failing to meet a challenge from the Princess of Cornea. I suppose I have no choice then. I always knew you'd come around. Well, you just kind of like browbeat him into it. You might act all composed and rational, but we both know you can't resist a proper contest. It would be endearing if it wasn't so predictable. I am well aware of my failings, thank you. Though strangely enough, I only seem to come to them when I'm with you. Oh, do go on. We've spoken long enough already. If you wish to spar, let us do it now before my next strategy meeting. Don't worry, I'll make sure this is over quick. Spare me the sobbing when you're soundly beaten. Ooh, I want to know who won! I want to know who won! I say I want to know who won, but if we just put them one-on-one against each other, Virginia would kick Gilbert's ass. It's good Gilbert wouldn't be able to hurt her. A very poor unit mismatch. Seems the match is yours yet again. Victory in every 3 bouts is quite the damning proportion, Virginia. Powerful though your attacks may be, you shall always struggle if you remain so blatantly ignorant of your opponent's intentions. Our positions might well be reversed if you only remember to dodge every now and again. Maybe so, but you can't expect me to get out of the way of everything. That's what my shields are for. All the same, you mustn't rely on that alone. The same applies in battle as well. Truthfully, my blood runs cold every time I watch you charge forth alone. Is that why you always ask to keep me in your unit? Because you're worried about me? I can't deny that. What's more, I suspect I have more confidence in giving your orders than anyone in our entire army. Even more than Elaine. Not a competition, merely a matter of who is able to keep your violent inclinations in check. Sure sounds like a competition. You just can't resist, can you? To be honest, Virginia... What is it? I've always felt you were my better from the day we first met. You fled to Drakenhold entirely on your own, held firm to your Cornean pride as a member of her royal family. Never once lost hope that you would one day reclaim your birthright. And having watched you overcome such great adversity, I began to despise my own cowardice. It was then that I'd resolved to never again succumb to its grasp, to don my father's mantle and restore Drakenhold to its former brilliance. Am I hearing this right, Gilbert? Are you claiming you got your competitive edge from me? Yeah. Why do you laugh? Nothing. Just thinking I could go for another sparring match or two. See, your lust for blood is truly insatiable. Given our shared reluctance to admit defeat, I fear this match shall never truly come to an end. That's fine by me. The day one of us gives up is the day we both lose something irreplaceable. But somehow I can't see that ever happening. They're like 70 years old and still sparring? I suppose not, no. But be warned, Virginia, this next victory shall be mine as well. We'll see about that. She actually dodges for once. Dodges, swings, catches him completely by surprise and kills him. And then There was one. Aramis! Alright, brothers! Team! Trek down the thing. At least, like, highlight it or something. Like, damn.
Gilbert. Ah, Ludwig. What brings you here? Concern for you. Our king shouldn't be wandering alone in the dark of night. You needn't worry yourself. I wasn't planning to stay long. This river always was your favorite place to clear your mind.
There was a catapult right here.
You remember that? How could I not? I recall just about every moment of our time growing up together. Like the day Father scolded you for absconding with his mantle. Your tears practically formed a stream of their own. Yet, as always, you were there to protect me, even if it meant suffering the punishment yourself. My entire childhood, I wanted nothing more than to don this mantle. One moment would have been enough. I could have hardly imagined I would be standing here now with its fabric draped across my shoulders. Merely one of the many things that has changed since you left. Indeed. If I may, Ludwig, I feel as though I've forgotten a great deal of your prolonged absence. The stories you used to read to me, your favorite pastry, the tones of your voice, and the tint of your eyes. So long as we march under the same banner, I ask you share with me tales of your life. Remind me of who we once were. Teach me who you've become in the time since. I would like nothing more.
That was fun. That was a fun little, like... I would love to know more of exactly what happened with Aramis and why he abandoned his, like... He feels... It feels like he's so ashamed of what happened that he just feels like he can't rule. When the maid spotted you stealing off the evening's dessert, you wrapped yourself in my garb and fled. Perhaps you thought to shift the blame, yet the jam staining your lips made the true culprit rather obvious indeed. I think that's quite enough recounting of my adolescent mischief, thank you. Oh, I thought you would be pleased to hear I still remember. I was, for the first 20 stories. It's clear to me you recall every agonizing detail of my childhood. Now I wish to hear of yours instead.
Ludwig? You remember what you told me when last we spoke? How you've forgotten much in the years since I left. Alas, the same is true for me. My time as Crown Prince is but a clouded blur in my mind. Surely you jest. Consider it, Gilbert. The moment I fled Soldraga, my entire life changed. The clothes I wear, the meals I eat, even my own name. It's as though the Ludwig you refer to is another man entirely. In such a light, can you honestly claim me as your brother? I, who chose to wander our lands rather than bear the burden of kingship, a burden which now rests upon your shoulders. Man, people be talking. They just be talking and talking and talking. It's my fault for never doing any of the rapports throughout the game, but, you know. I would ask the same question of you. If you've truly renounced all that you once were, what of me? I'll always be the only brother I've ever had, Luke. In my belief, nothing can sever a bond of blood. There are plenty of things that can sever a bond of blood. Even should you remain a wanderer come the end of this war. Even should I never see you again for as long as I live. Yet again, I'm met with my own inadequacies. You always have had the better of me, Gilbert. I can't promise you much, but I've every faith you'll grow to be one of the finest kings Drakenhold has ever witnessed. And if not that, then at least the finest brother.
That was nice. I would still love more specific detail on Aramis and why things went down the way they did. Ridial actually has a bunch of one-offs. She has a 3 tier with Chloe. Okay, Aubin. Magellan and Rosalinda. Nope, that was it. Ridial and Aubin.
Rosewater Charbat? Charbat? With extra honey, just like I had with my mom all those years ago. With some line, though, that it's any shock in this heat. Huh. Can't wait to see the look on Chloe's face when I surprise her with it. Oh. Oh, no! Watch where you're going, old man. Wait, is that you, Aubin? Old man? No, I'm still in my 20s, yeah? I don't care what age you are. I waited for hours to get that how the fuck do you pronounce that? That's gonna bug me so badly. It's a drink prepared from fruit or flower petals. A sweet cordial usually served chilled. Pretty sure I've had some.
Sharbet.
Sharbet. Okay. I waited for hours to get that sharbet for me and Chloe, and now the only ones who get to enjoy it are the desert ants. Sorry, didn't mean to make you drop it. Hold on, I'm pretty sure I just saw... I just Chloe? Game! I'm pretty sure I just saw Chloe making the same damn thing back at camp. Something about a surprise for a friend from what she was telling me. Because that friend is you, huh? Is really doing that for me? Nice animation on Aubin there. I wish the game had more of that. It's like you both had the same idea. But hey, I bet you still got time to make it with her if you hurry. I'll even give you a little coin for ingredients. Make it up for bumping into you, you know? Never even considered making something together. Anyway, I should probably get going, and I'm sorry too for what it's worth. I'll hand over that gold, and Chloe and I will make enough sharbut for all three of us. Sounds good to me. Just don't go getting sick off of it, yeah? So, Ridial and Aubin's conversation was really just a sidebar for Chloe. Okay. Ridial and Travis. Mind doing me a little favor, Travis? I need to know the kind of stuff she's just obsessed with Chloe likes, but I don't want her catching on no matter what. What do you need me for? Can't you just ask her yourself? Well, I want it to be a surprise. I've heard unexpected shows of appreciation are actually pretty common where she's from. Doesn't change the fact that you could handle it on your own. Thought you were good at spying on people. I am, but not when it's someone I know. She'd figure out what I was up to before I even got started. And you don't think it would scare her if you showed up with the perfect gift she never even told you you wanted? Last thing I want is to get in the middle of that. She'll understand, I'm sure of it. Oh, and I almost forgot, there's a reward in it for you too. So don't ask for elf nails, because you won't be getting any. Don't worry, I wasn't planning on it. Wait, fine. I want you to get me a book on elven history. I've been looking for one for ages now. If that's so, think you the reading type. But we already know Travis is the reading type. Looks can be deceiving. If Chloe's interests will be as surprising as yours. Something like knife throwing or trapping rabbits? Keep mocking me and I might have to change my mind about this deal of ours. Sorry, just a harmless joke, that's all. Don't you just go ask someone who already knows her, like Elaine or Lex or something like that. Don't have someone spy on her. What are you doing? Metalogos. 1 minute? Hey, guessed correctly. Ah, is it truly you? Lagos? Hasn't anyone taught you not to grab a girl by the shoulder like that? Forgive me, I thought you were Bridia for a moment. My mom? Oh no! How does he know her? Truly am sorry, Bridia, but I must say your every feature reminds me of her, even down to the way you stand. Still, it doesn't excuse the uncivilized manner in which I startled you. Alright, really, I'm curious though. How did you know my mom? She's the one who taught me the art of the bow. It was years ago, of course. He always used to speak of you with such high praise, you know. Okay. Okay. I get it. I get that elves are long-lived. But this... Okay. So I'm going to lay out timelines here. Rydia is Rydiel's mother, right? Rydia is old enough to have taught Linolagos, who we know in turn is old enough to have taught Ithilien, right? But Rydiel is young enough to have very little connection to basically the other elves at all. Probably partially because she's half-elf. But is old enough to have been born while Rydia was still around and training Little Lagos. That's a very messy timeline. Not an impossible timeline, but a very messy timeline. And I would be willing, every time I see messy timelines like this, I would be willing to bet that it's a scenario where you have multiple writers, there's not a timeline Bible or story Bible or something like that that is concerned about these, right? Like, you can have a main story Bible, not be concerned with these little side stories or anything like that. But that's a muddy timeline there. I don't like it. I don't like it. She always used to speak of you with such high praise, you know, a well-mannered child with an almost stoic nature. It's possible that Linolagos kept up contact with Rydia after she had already trained him. And then in their communique after the fact, she spoke about her daughter. But even then, again, it's a messy, muddled timeline. I only acted like that so I wouldn't worry her. I was just so busy all the time. Worry her you did. You could tell you were stifling your own individuality for the sake of her well-being. Hence, she would make the time to train you in the bow once with each passing moon. Is that why? I was probably too busy despising those sessions to realize. I expect it was the only way she knew to show her love for you. While she was always rather strict with me, I did at times catch sight of the caring mother beneath that mask. Nope. Implies that he was training with her after motherhood. It's also possible that Rydiel's just far older than they make her out to be. Certain she could see you now, she would have nothing but pride for the fine woman you've become in her absence. Even though I'm not a knight. Rydiel, please. It was you she loved, not some meaningless title. Yeah, I hope you're right. I would have liked to get more information on kind of like Rydiel's childhood, or like her whole half-elven scenario. Like, Linolagos and Galdemir are the only elves that she has a conversation with, but we don't really dig deeper on that whole situation. Ooh. Miriam and Selvi. Rydiel and Tatiana. Tatiana's so weird. Are you okay, Rydiel? I've never seen a bruise this pronounced before. I'm fine, just got kicked by a horse is all. What? When exactly? Well, about an hour or so, I spotted Monica and Clive talking over in town. Given their history, I couldn't help but let out a nice teasing whistle. But in that moment, I sensed something move behind me and turned to see Monica's horse staring me straight in the eyes. I think you can guess what happened next. You have far too much time on your hands, don't you? like I was looking for them or anything. It all just kind of happened. Spoken like a true sinner. What the fuck, Tatiana? As for me, I can't say I understand your tendency to meddle in the affairs of others. What? You don't have many friends, do you, Tatiana? This is precisely the kind of meddling I mean. Sorry, I hope that wasn't too rude a question. But neither do I, honestly. Not a lot of people like how direct I am. I was thinking, though, maybe we could be friends, you and me. I'm not sure what part of this conversation would make you believe that's a good idea. I guess you just seem like someone who's not afraid to call me out if I do something wrong. You already did earlier. And would this friendship bring any new responsibilities along with it? Do you have issues with responsibilities, Tatiana? None. Just talk to me every once in a while, and that's good enough. In that case, return to me the next time you need of a healer. I look forward to more amusing anecdotes of your injuries, Ridiel. You think this is funny, do you? How do you know it really hurt? Seems you're not the only one here with a difficult personality.
Okay. Just weird. They're both weird. Oh, goodness. Okay, then. Alright, we'll do Chloe's. Ridiel and Chloe. Shooting into the ocean. Still training, Ridiel? It's getting late, you know. I'm aware. This is the only way I can prove I'm here for the right reasons. The only way I can make up for selling you out to Zenoira. Doesn't mean you need to work yourself to the bone doing it. I don't remember asking your opinion. Show me your hand, Ridiel. Blisters, just like I thought. I'm surprised you can even hold your bow through all the pain. Well, I don't have a choice. You know that just as well as I do. You're wrong, Ridiel. Just think what would happen if all this strain caused you to falter when it mattered most. The others could get hurt. Elaine could get hurt. And the only thing that would prove is that he can't trust you to be there when he needs you. But listen, Ridiel, I'm sure your mom would be worried too if she saw you like this. Just take it slow, okay? We'll get there, even if it's not as fast as you might want. Once again, you lecture me as exactly like she would. Now that you mention it, I guess I was getting a little impatient. Here, put this balm on your hand and unstring that bow for the day. Oh, I'd better not catch you training like this again. Thanks, Chloe. I won't let you down, I promise. The problem with these types of rapport conversations is they're so there's not enough for a legitimately good arc, right? Because a good arc would be Ridiel telling Chloe to stuff it, right? Like this altercation happens, Ridiel gets pissed, right? That Chloe like brings up her mom, tells her to fuck off, blah 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 blah. The next part of the arc would be something happening, right? A bandit or Zenoiran soldier coming. We see her, the triggering incident happens, right? Like she falters, and then Chloe comes to her rescue, right? And there's a short exchange there, and then, right, the progression of that is Ridiel coming to Chloe and begging forgiveness, or you know, some sort of situation where they meet up where that happens, where Ridiel's like, you know, you're right, I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry for reacting the way that I did. Chloe being able to like react with, you know, that's my bad, I came at you the wrong way, or I shouldn't have invoked your mother's name, or approached that, blah, 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 blah. And then a resolution, right? So like having a lot of these little conversations that we see feel so incomplete or non-committal or unimportant because they don't have enough time to actually breed a real arc, right? If most of these were like three to five pieces, like there are some that you could do in 3, but if most of these were 3 or 5, this is all to say, like, I do think that portions of the... I've talked about a couple of different things that I think would really make the rapport system in this game feel better or feel more impactful. Having tangible rewards, aside from behind the screens or behind the scenes passive buffs, more tangible rewards, and a bigger opportunity for full arcs. Like, even if you just limited it to 3, but people had actually 3, right? Would be an... Anyways, I'm just talking. I really like stuff like this, and I've played a lot of games that have things like this. And there's a sweet spot for doing these types of things just right. Back straight, shoulders level, proper follow-through. I've seen a more elegant archer in all my life. Not to mention the power and precision you manage on each and every arrow. Really just never stop improving, Ridial. I appreciate that. Oh, and here, I won't be needing this balm anymore. You won't? Then... let me see your hands. I knew it. All those blisters have calloused over. It's taken weeks to get to that point. I can't say I'm surprised, or would your mom be, I'm sure. I hope I can end up even half as good as she was. I'll have a long way to go till I get there, though. Must have been really special, huh? It was amazing. At least at hashtag most things? Hashtag most things? What? Game. What did she struggle with? Being a mother? Cooking. Out of all those skills, it was her only real flaw. Never ended up doing it much myself because of that. That explains why you always disappear when I need help with dinner. I've been thinking maybe you could teach me. If you don't mind, that is. Mind? I would love to. Come on. I feel like Chloe is supposed to be teaching like 10 people how to cook. You want to start now? Of course. Besides, I'm sure you're starving after all that archery, so let's get going already. Hey, stop pulling. Yeah, see that, like, there could have been a much better arc there. I should have known I'd end up cutting my finger. Guess I'm just not meant for this stuff. Tell me something, Ridial. How many arrows did it take before you really knew how to shoot? Hundreds? Thousands? Well, cooking is no different. If you want to get better, you have to keep practicing. Oh, just so you know, everyone loved that dish you made. They did? I don't know what to say, Chloe. Just thank you to start. I won't give up on this, I promise you that. Glad to hear it. Yeah. These conversations are... there are some that are pretty alright, but most of these conversations are pretty shallow. In their execution, a lot of them have good bases. They just don't go deep enough, you know? Are you ready to go now, Ridial? I am. Sorry for making you come all the way to my house with me. With how quickly everything's happened, I never really had the chance to say goodbye. To who? Oh, maybe just to your... It might actually just be to your house, because if I remember correctly, like, she was not super well liked. Look, I grabbed a little something to remember my mom by. A marvelous painting, Ridial. That's her, back when she was first joining up with the Knights of Elheim. Apparently, she got commissioned for next to nothing. Got it commissioned for next to nothing. You can hardly tell from looking at it, especially in the manner her sword gleams in the sunlight. It's really something, isn't it? It'd be great to see the painting. It would be really cool. I always used to love it as a kid. Spent hours upon hours staring at it, just hanging there on the wall. Not that I ever dreamt of becoming a knight myself. Looking back on it now, I think it was all some kind of childish wonder. Admiration for a world I knew nothing about. Once I got older and started seeing for myself the kind of prejudiced half-elves like me face, I realized just how impossible a reality this old thing depicted. I'm sorry, Ridial. After that, it was painful even looking at it, so I shoved it in a closet and tried to forget it instead.
Kept it in there even after my mom died. Every once in a while, I'd dig it up. Wonder what she'd think if she knew how I felt. If nothing else, I'm certain she would be happy to see you staring at it again, just as you did when you were a child. And I can only imagine how proud it would make her to know you've inherited her bitter struggle against Zenora. I'll win it too, her memory. Like Ridial, if Ridial's mom was such a great archer, you know, building off of that rapport conversation or concept that I was talking about earlier about how it would be really cool if people unlocked things. If she had a full conversation or full set of conversations with Lenolagos, the last one could be him, because if he was a student of her mother, the last one could be him teaching her something that her mother never got to teach her, right? Like the concept being that her mother died before Ridial was that far along enough in her training. And it would be cool if like Lenolagos had some unique skill that he could then pass on to Ridial type situation. Or it could be like Lenolagos doesn't know it himself, but he can recall to Ridial, right? Like seeing her mom use it in battle, that type of scenario. And then Ridial could remember like learning the basics of it from her mother and start practicing it herself until she actually gets it, perfects it, right? Like that type of scenario. That would be cool. And then it would be uniquely Ridial's. I must know, Riddell? What were you like as a child? Where's this coming from? Couldn't say, really. I'm just curious, I suppose. Sure, if that's what you want. It's not easy being a half-elf. We're gonna get some of the half-elf stuff. Cool. Nowadays, most everyone tends to keep their distance from me. Things were different when I was young. Kids were innocent until they learned to hate. So I had plenty of friends I used to play with, none of whom cared who I was or where I was from. But the older we got, the less they treated me like one of their own. I couldn't understand it, at least not at the time, but I do now. The cold reality of that truth hurts, almost as much as losing every friend you've ever known. Forgive me, Ridial. I should never have asked such an insensitive question. In truth, I've no experience with such discrimination myself, and I'll not claim to understand how you feel. But I hope to create a kingdom where none will have to suffer as you have, ever again. Knowing you, I have a feeling you might just do it. Let us pray you're right.
Oh, it was alright. Wow! Over in Albion, eh? Really running the gamut here. How would you feel about settling in Cornea, Ridial, after the war? After the end of this war, I mean. Again, you find a way to catch me off guard. It wasn't my intent. It's merely that our prior conversation gave me a fair amount to consider. And I've concluded that I wish for my kingdom to be governed in much the same way the Liberation is. My time as commander, I've come to encounter a great many people of various races and walks of life. Yet, with the start of each day, we put our differences behind us and labor to reach a common goal. Such is the future I hope to build for Cornea as well. I want you to be a part of that, Ridial. Not sure Joseph would agree with you there. Pretty sure he would. It's not his decision to make. Yet, even if it were, he has long since confessed his trust in you. The only words he speaks of you now are those of praise for the excellent work you do in our name. You're too kind, Prince. I know you're only doing this to make me feel better.
and in the past I would have hated you for taking pity on me. Now, I'm happy to hear you say it. That all this time I've spent with you and your little army has changed who I am. The better, in my view. Whenever I'm with you, Ridial, I feel a certain ease deep within my breast, though it pleases me to know the liberation is able to provide the same comfort for you. I've heard that one before. I'll consider your offer. I wouldn't want that kindness of yours to go unanswered, now would I?
Is this gonna be that was but a dream? Yeah, that was but a dream. Okay. That one didn't feel as flirty as some of the others have been, but still only a dream. And with you love to see it. You hate to see it. You love to see it. As we go forward, I'm really hoping that we'll have less and less to do with each person. So Linolagus only actually has 2 left, so that's cool. And none of them are 3 stars. So Morden, Linolagos. Where the fuck it be? Is it up here? Linolagos and Morden up by the tree. Okay.
That's the good stuff. Can't say I care much for the lack of meat around here, but this fruit wine is really something else. Oh, it's rare indeed to meet a human who can truly appreciate a fine drink. At least amidst our army it is. Whoa, what was that? Speaking of wine, I hear you elves make a damn good one with the help of this divine tree here. Ervelda's nectar, yes. Though I can't claim I've ever seen a bottle of it myself. The Great Spirit only bears fruit once every few millennia, and without any advance warning at that. As far as I'm aware, none who still live have actually witnessed the sight. Too bad. Yet you're welcome to pray for a future harvest if you'd like. In the meantime, allow me to fetch an ewer from my personal stores. It may be no nectar, but a man of your refined palate shall surely enjoy it all the same.
Fucking fruit's gonna bloom. Is that getting all staticky?
Hello there, Sir Morden. Have you come to gather mushrooms as well? What's that wonderful aroma?
Evening, Eltalinde. Wanna join me for a little drink? Linolagos is gonna come back and find the Turanos fucking hammered.
Terrace? You even listening to me, Morden? I'm not done talking.
She's a mean drunk.
Who would have thought I'd be getting drunk with the ruler of the elves herself? What is the meaning of this? Oh, I'm sorry for yelling. I just love mushrooms so much.
That's so fucking...
There, I know you do. What have you done, Morden? Not a damn thing, I'll have you know. All I let her do was take a whiff of the bottle, and this just happened. Girl never touched a single drop. Fortunately, fumes are more than enough to intoxicate one of her slight stature.
She's not much smaller than you.
Quite dissimilar to a heavy drinker such as you. Don't be rude, Linolagos. Forgive me, Terrace. Morden might have a big stomach, but he's got an even bigger heart. So you'd better not say another bad word about him or his weight. Actually, I said he was a heavy drinker, not... Another enchanting fragrance, this time coming from you.
Oh! If you say something about fetching an ewer, hand it over, kid.
Do no such thing. Give it here, Linolagos.
What the fuck has happened? Oh, God. I do like the idea, though, of Morden and Eltalinde becoming drinking buddies, but they're not really drinking buddies. It's just Morden drinking and Eltalinde just getting fucking wasted on fumes. That would be pretty funny, actually. Up here, I suppose? Yep.
Is everything all right, Linolagos? You seem upset. Ah, it's you. Had you and your army not arrived when you did, I would no doubt be one with the Divine by now. It was a welcome stroke of luck, and I am well aware that aforesaid fortune would have little chance of striking again. Hence I was reflecting on that horrible day, hoping to grasp how best to claim victory absent outside assistance. I concede that some of my orders may have arrived too late, but were the orders themselves mistaken to begin with? No, our diminished numbers were surely to blame. Perhaps I should have planned for such an eventuality. There's much to consider, but I hope to be adequately prepared for our next battle. Some strength of heart. Be thinking of this while the pain is surely still fresh in your mind. When you've lived as long as I have, you begin to find that pain is nothing but a fleeting sensation. All that remains now is the burning desire to avenge my fallen allies.
Also, again, right, like, timelines here, the implication there that he has lived quite some time already, right? So where does that all add up with old enough to be trained by Rydia, old enough to have trained Ithilien, Rydiel being a child while being trained by Rydia, Linolagos being trained by Rydia. But how the fuck old is actually... I wonder if we can... I wonder if there's just a thing where we can go check and see how old Rydiel is. Maybe that'll just fix it all, right? Might I help you in that pursuit, Linolagos? More than I could possibly ask of you. Even still, I believe together we can balance out the weaknesses in each other's thinking. And I too wish to avoid the needless loss of life as much as possible. Very well. I wouldn't deny the help of a skilled commander such as you. And let us make for the war tent. We can exchange any further ideas over its abundance of old charts and maps. Lead the way, my prince. May not have the benefit of my boundless years, but he's quite a dependable young man. I mean, that seems to work. I'm actually, like, interested now. Elheim character. Nope. No hard information there. No way to, like, affirm the timeline to ourselves. That's okay. It is what it is. Linolagos done. Jeremy! Alright, we'll leave Aubin to the last since he is the 3-star. That's the wrong person. Whatever. We're watching Renault and Joseph. Long last, you found the conviction to join our march. Sir Joseph. The knight-errant Laurent, was it? I admit you had me deceived at first, yet the thrust of your lance soon made your identity clear as the evening sky. Was it truly that obvious? I had hoped to slay Renault so that Laurent might live. It seems my efforts were too little avail. 'Tis a good thing, too. Only a fool would abandon their own existence so easily. Though despite your failings, you live on, ever striving for a greater future. As I've sworn to do in the Liberation's name, yes. Much promise lies in those words, Renault. And in that lance, your aptitude in which rivals even Hodrick's. If I recall, such skill once earned you top honor in a jousting competition held by the Ashen Blue. Yes, it is a fond memory indeed. I only pray the point of your lance is as sharp as ever. But of course, Sir Joseph. And with it, I shall pierce the heart of Galerius's foul ambitions. Fair enough. That seemed fine. Oh!
Oh. Gordon and Jeremy. There we go. Heading out, Jeremy? Ugh. Not sure where to. Nearest tavern's hours away from here. Oh, just taking care of a little business. You know how it is. Anyway, I'll see you around, yeah? He following you. Can you please quit following me? Not until you tell me why you stink like a damn alehouse. I've smelled a lot of different booze in my day. Whatever you got, it's one I don't recognize. You gotta be kidding me. Well, you planning on sharing or what? Just one drink and we can forget this ever happened. I don't think that's true. No point in trying to hide it now. Fine, follow me. I knew they were going there. I've been keeping this bottle stashed away in the old church here for years now. Stuff's real quality, too. So don't go gulping it down like whatever swill you were used to. Here you go. That's some color you got on this. Can't wait to see how it tastes. Well, I'll be damned. That's incredible. Got just the right balance of flavor and burn, and goes down smooth as anything. I'm begging you. Just oh guy, he's just gonna drink the whole damn thing. Hey, give me that back. You already got your end of the deal, bastard. Now that's a real drink. Can't be happening. Oh no. Nothing better at easing the mind than a nice strong brew. Come here, you old fool. You polished off the whole damn bottle.
Yeah. That's on you, Jeremy. Definitely should not have trusted him enough to give him the whole bottle. Berenice! I love her sword.
What?
Sure. Sorry, do I know you?
What is Elaine thinking, letting a bastard like you walk free in our ranks?
I remember now. You're the mercenary from that gambling den.
One and the same. Wasn't there for games, though. I was helping a friend.
Trust me, I could tell. Nobody bets like that if they got their eye on actually winning.
Keep talking if you want a blade in your neck. I still haven't forgotten what you did to me.
Come on, don't be like that. I was just having a little fun.
Fun? You were cheating and dragged me in your mess because of it.
Maybe so. But last I remember, your friend slipped out no problem during the brawl. Seems you should be thanking me, don't you think?
I should be punching you in the gut. That whole fight, you kept pushing people off on me. It was pathetic, not helpful. If that's how you're gonna do things here, you'll be out on the streets before you know it. That's a promise.
Fine by me, long as you think that'll keep you safe. Besides, you never know what might happen in battle. Better looking after yourself than dying to help a guy like me.
Well, look who's trying to be selfless.
That's not it. All I'm saying is I'll never be someone who goes marching to his death to save his friends. Not like you. And if you don't like the sound of that, you're better off just leaving me behind.
Not sure if you're clever or a few coins short of a purse.
Because I don't mind letting the past stay in the past. Just know you won't get off easy if it happens again. Whatever you say. I have this whole, difficulty clocking Jeremy on, and I think it's intentional, on whether or not he's actually a semi-honorable guy who only, letting the rookies fight, but only when he's positive that they're going to be able to handle themselves. Otherwise, throwing himself into the thick of things and not accepting any help, right? Like that kind of situation. I don't know exactly how to clock him.
What kind of monster trains in the damn desert? Or just stay low so he can't find me. Hey, no better company than a nice, relaxing oasis. So, Jeremy. Oh, good seeing you, Gloucester. You as well. As I'm certain you're aware, we've much training to do. No better place to do so than at an oasis. The desert sun brings heightened perspiration, you see, so it's important we always seek to stay hydrated. Not only that, but few things in life are greater than a cold plunge after a hard day's work. You don't say. Alas, the desert chill sets in swiftly come sundown. We must take great care to finish our training before then. Yeah, about that. I've been feeling kinda under the weather today, so I was thinking I might sit this one out. Ah, but that's all the more reason to partake. After all, they say the quickest way to break a fever is through physical exertion, followed by a cold bath. Got any proof of that? Because to me it sounds like a heap of cow dung. What need is there for proof when the light of conviction guides me? I didn't know Gloucester was so pious. Now come, this excursion shall restore you both in body and mind. Ugh. Remind me to find a better place to hide next time. What was that? Oh, nothing. Let's get this over with, yeah?
That's fun. I feel a little called out with this character being named Jeremy. Just a little called out. Scarlet and Virginia, no. Aubin and Jeremy, there we go.
Not often I go picking a fight I wasn't paid to start, but I got something to say to you, Jeremy. It was real pitiful watching you beg for your life while all your men lay dead around you. I get you were trying to survive, but that doesn't mean I gotta like it. So what? It's 'cause my men were gone, I shoulda asked to go with them? Sorry, wasn't gonna happen. Besides, the boss knew damn well what he was getting when he took me on. And what if it was your own family laying there? Would you still have acted like they were nothing to you? Of course I would. There's no point being all righteous and honorable if it's just gonna put you in the ground. So yeah, I'd leave them, just like anyone else. That's how it goes when you watched a good man like us take his damn morals to the grave. Nobody gains from that kind of sacrifice. Not the person doing it, not the people he was doing it for. So keep looking at me like the scum of the earth if you want. But this is the only kind of life I know how to live. If you don't like it, try telling the boss to put us in different units for once. Say, it does make me wonder. What would I do if Magellan or Liza wouldn't gotten themselves killed? Who's that good man he was talking about anyway?
Probably his father. Like all the hallmarks of daddy issues. Absolutely. Round 3.
It ain't my best pal, Aubin. How can I help you? I want to hear about that friend of yours, the one you said took his morals to the grave. Story's not worth telling, not for me or for you. Well, I think it is. Now come on, out with it. Suit yourself. I had a partner once.
Oh, not a father.
Back when I was still just learning the trade. I would never stop talking about wanting to be a knight. All justice this and sacrifice that. When a pack of bandits started attacking a nearby town, he went after them, alone. Of course, I wasn't about to let him march off to his death, so I followed pretty close behind. The bastards saw me. Just as they were gonna strike the killing blow, my friend jumped in the way. Look at himself. So yeah, there's only one person I'm looking out for now, and it's me. I realized you had it that rough. Well, now you know. I don't need your sympathy for what it's worth. Not what I'm getting at. I honestly could have guessed it was something like that. I was happy just calling you a coward instead of learning the truth for myself. Sorry. First the boss, and now you. Why can't everyone just leave me the hell alone? You ask me, you're all too damn nice for your own good. You're not the ruthless dog you pretend to be. Just don't get any big ideas about jumping in front of me, yeah? Go and get yourself killed like he did, and I'll regret ever telling you about this in the first place. Better hope I don't help him out of instinct, then. Yeah. Jeremy's interesting. Alright, what else we got? Tatiana! Okay. Only 1-3 conversation, and that's with Elaine, so we'll save that for last. Tatiana and Lex. Tatiana's so weird. She's so weird. Wait, Tatiana, did you really mean what you said about killing Elaine? I did, yes, but only after I watched his fanciful ideas crumble to dust in his hands. Unless you mean to strike me down before that happens. Well, I wouldn't. Hey, look out! Yay! An ambush? Come on, we gotta tell Elaine about this. She didn't move. Why did you stop him? Had you only chosen to let me die, all your worries would have died with me. I could never let that happen. I mean, yeah, I've got my eye on you, but Elaine brought you on board for a reason. Because I wanted another healer. So I'm not gonna just stand around while some bandit sticks a knife in you. It's not what a friend does. Friends now, are we? We're more charitable than I thought. But I assure you, the day will come that you will regret ever saving me. Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure you'll change your tune by the time Elaine's done saving Fevrith. Believe what you want. I'll be right beside him until then, watching his every last move. Creepy. A little creepy. A little creepy. I definitely feel like her 3-star with Elaine is gonna be like, oh, I'll just have to stay by your side forever. Calm down. Nina and Tatiana. Okay. Again, another nightgown torn to shreds. What? Something troubling you, Tatiana, or Nina. I could feel your night tremors from the next tent over. Forgive me, Tatiana. I suppose I'm just something of a restless sleeper. As you might have noticed from the fact that this is the 3rd nightgown I've ruined this month. Yes, and I worry your tent may be next on the list. Perhaps we should move you a few steps outside of camp from now on, in the interest of safety, that is. Okay, calm down. Please don't. I couldn't bear having to sleep out on my own like that. What about your medicines, Tatiana? Don't you know anything that can help me? I'm afraid not. If anything, I have the opposite problem myself. I've been told I don't move a single muscle until morning and take quite shallow breaths all the while. Once I even awoke to a band of clerics praying over my body out of the belief that I had passed away during the night. Can't imagine that's a pleasant way to start your day, though I'm sure the clerics were just as startled as you. Only we could each be a little more like each other. Interesting thought, yes? But I have no desire to be anywhere near as needlessly spirited as you. Needless? But my spirit is one of the best things about me. That was just as odd as Tatiana is. Why am I not surprised? Ooh. Tatiana and Yosef. Gotta be about Tatiana's gonna kill Elaine. Gotta be. Your quill, your notebook, your gloves, a small pouch, an old button, a pendant you received from your wife. All that remains of you now are disjointed possessions and fading memories. I could only hear you speak of them again, one more time. That guy sucked and deserved to die. Praying to, I can't remember, Ghislaine? How has your faith in him continued to hold true despite everything you witnessed under his command? You ask that as though telling you will make any difference. Forgive me. I didn't intend to speak of him so coldly. I do. He sucked. Now you pretend to care? Fine then, I'll tell you. I once had 2 sisters, both around my age, until the plague took them from me, of course. Despair clung to me like a foul smoke, but onward I walked to the settlement where the plague first arose. It was at the gates of that settlement that Lord Ghislaine saved my life. And thus you chose to serve him in order to repay that debt. It were the victims of his experiments, not innocent civilians like your sisters. How could you ever support such research? I mentioned before how Lord Ghislaine lost his wife to the plague, yes? Well, this is what she told him the day she fell ill. Once I am gone, use my body however you must. Find a cure and deliver our lands from the curse which blights them. At first he refused, as any loving husband would, but after much internal strife he tearfully did as she asked. From that moment forth, he resolved to forge a path only he was capable of walking. He despised the disease with every fiber of his being and would stop at nothing to see it eradicated, even enlisting the help of that horrid necromancer to do so. As things stand, there's little point in questioning the decisions of my past. And soon after joining your army, I received word that from my men that they had completed the cure. Lord Gislaine's wish has at last come true. We have repelled the plague and the horrors of its reality, and for now, that is enough. Despite his methods, it's clear to me that your lord acted with naught but the utmost conviction. Pray forgive this old soldier his ignorance. Nope. And please, do what you must to honor Gislaine's memory. I will.
Horse marching people in the middle of the night, knowing that they're gonna die, that many of them will die, so that you can get them to your prison cells so that they can be experimented on. Not acceptable. Plague hitting a town and rounding up everyone in that town, whether they are infected with the plague or not, for your experiments. Not acceptable. Excuse me? Mind sparing me a couple of feathers. Who's there? Show yourself or face my divine fury. Forgive me, I didn't realize a brazen angel like you could get frightened so easily. It's you, the heretic responsible for nigh countless innocent deaths. You haven't answered my question. Will you be giving me the feathers or not? I've nothing to give to a heartless daemon like you. I don't much appreciate your tone of voice. But you're correct. I've done terrible things in the name of a greater good. Save my people from a plague your church would do nothing to stop. Yes, well, there's little point in arguing this now. What's done is done. A truth I know all too well. Tell me, what do you plan to do with the feathers of an angel? According to my studies, they can serve to enhance the efficacy of any tonic they're added to. So I thought to do just that for the cure I've created. Though I have to admit I'm rather skeptical. How dare you? We angels are messengers of heaven, not some medicinal herb to be harvested as you please. I know that, and yet the plague still lingers in our lands, and there's no telling if the current cure will stay effective in subsequent outbreaks. But if that's how you feel, then I'll leave you be. I promise I won't make the same mistake again. We'll see about that. By the way, I did think to help when your town was consumed, but there was nothing a mere angel such as I could do. What? And I can tell you truly want to save as many people as possible. So go on. You may have one feather, this evening only. Just make sure it doesn't hurt, will you? I can't promise that. How the fuck am I supposed to promise that? Also, if you were an angel and you found out that your feathers were incredibly effective reagents in medicinal crafting, how could you... This is like giving blood. It's like, if you have the opportunity, how could you, like, morally not? Alright. Incoming weird fascination with staying close to Elaine so she can eventually kill him. If you need something from me, I suggest you send a messenger instead. You never know when I might lose my temper and attempt to kill you. When we first met, you said you wished to see what ideals I fight for. Yet if you're going to do so, you'll need to observe firsthand how I choose to conduct myself. I would also much prefer not having to avoid you if at all possible, especially considering my own desire to study your work. Amusing thought, but without years of dedicated study, you won't even understand what you're looking at. Indeed, I know how hard you've struggled to reach your current level of expertise. I wouldn't expect a novice such as I to comprehend your research at first glance. Yet if I don't at least try, I feel strongly that I'll never comprehend you either. Grant me the opportunity, Tatiana. Please. I swear I'll not get in your way. What a strange man you are. First you decided not to punish my wrongs, and now you refuse to keep your distance, despite the fact that I clearly despise you. More than just plain tolerance, though, you have a strong will, a dash of ruthlessness, too. I wonder, how will Cornea flourish with you at its helm? And more importantly, how will it fall? There is a river that I would not mind throwing you in, lady. Can't say myself, but that's precisely why you should be observing my every move. Both now and after Fevrith is in its rightful hands once more. Yeah, I definitely feel like the last conversation with them is going to be this whole scenario of like, I'll have to stay close to you. Oh shit. Who are you people? Well, well, well. Looks like we found ourselves a rebel. It's the lucky break we've been waiting for. About time something went our way. You intend to kill me, then? Very well. I'll be reunited with Lord Ghislaine sooner than expected. And like a whirlwind, Elaine will just show up and book and wreck shop. Stand still and I'll make this quick. Hope you know it's nothing personal. What? One shot! Hits all three of them. Nope, stay on the horse. What were you thinking leaving camp alone at this time of night? Thought I told you to stay away from me. I want nothing to do with the man who murdered Lord Ghislaine, or a fool who decides who lives and who dies on pure impulse. I deny I took Ghislaine from you. I cut him down with my own two hands. But those he sacrificed were not nameless victims. They had families, lives, people who cared for them. Just as you did for him. He no doubt believed his deeds to be a necessary evil, but I refused to stand and watch while your lord made unwilling martyrs of his own citizens. You know nothing of the horrors that plague brought upon us, nor could I claim to. All I knew was that I had to put a stop to Ghislaine's transgressions. If you wish to call that mere impulse, then so be it. I have taken the lives of countless enemies in the name of this war. Truly, truly countless. So many dead people. Lives that would otherwise endure to see another dawn, each of them with family and friends who care deeply for them. While I wish I could protect everyone who calls these lands home, I fear that's not within my power.
Yet once I become king, I'll no doubt be forced to make even crueler decisions regarding the fate of my people. So hate me if you will, Tatiana. It doesn't change what I feel must be done, and I'm certain Ghislaine bore much the same resolve. You imply that you and he are alike?
I mean,
Or Ghislaine would still live had I only worked harder to finish that cure. Looking at it now, I realize that deep down I was holding myself back. I knew that once our research was complete, my lord would have no reason to keep me at his side.
okay, well that just sounds absolutely horrible, because your whole conviction this entire time was we were doing these evil things because a greater evil was ravaging our land, and so it justified it, and now you're like, but I was doing it slowly because I didn't want to leave my lord's side. I should put you in the ground too. Oh.
And to me, there was no thought more terrifying than that. Thus I hesitated, unwittingly brought about his death rather than fulfill the dream he so desperately yearned. My hatred for you is purely a way to deflect my own fear, the fear that I could have prevented my savior's demise. Then hate me all you want, on Lord Gislaine's behalf. I would rather that than request that everyone in this army adore me my every action.
You skipped a beat there, Elaine. You really just glossed over a very important statement of her basically saying, we were murdering innocents to cure the plague, but I feel like I was doing it slower so that I could stay next to my lord for longer. What? What?
If you even need to ask, I wouldn't forget what you did so easily. It was this. She fell of a Lunas clan. Powerful medicinal effects, but only when first bathed beneath the light of the moon. So that's why you were out here. Tatiana.
Oh no. No. I don't even want it to be a dream with Tatiana.
I really believed I was ready to die when those soldiers first surrounded me. But I realized then I want to live. A notion that grew even stronger when you came to my rescue. But he deserves to be sacrificed even for the noblest of causes. We all want to keep living, and yet...
Nope. Still do not feel bad.
Forgive me, Tatiana, for not giving Ghislaine that chance.
I feel zero issue.
You should get back to camp. I still have a few more shells to find myself, and I doubt there will be any further patrols tonight. Go, please. As you wish. Be careful, Tatiana.
No. You've already been attacked. I'm not leaving you on this beach alone. I'll stand over there and give you your space.
All I wanted was to stay at your side, and now we stand separated by the veil of death. While each new day brought you deeper into madness, I did nothing to prevent its monstrous advance. But I swear on my life, I'll rid our world of that foul disease, just as you had always dreamed. Farewell, my lord.
Yeah, her whole story, her and that whole arc is such a very... Oh, it wasn't a dream. Okay.
She hates us too strongly for us to be love interests.
Although it does feel like that hatred is lessening. Fran and Hilda. Hildebrandt. Hildebrand.
The hell are they thinking, keeping that wyvern around? You never know when a beast like that might go for your throat. Certain they chain it up outside of battle. There would simply be no controlling it otherwise. You're wrong. This beast is akin to my own family, and he would never attack anyone without good reason. Though I'm not sure how he'll feel about you spreading baseless rumors. Let's test it, shall we? Apologies, ma'am. Please don't hurt us. Well, you know. I take it you saw that. I believe you stood up to those soldiers, Hilda. I hear them repeating the same cruel things about my griffin sometimes, but never had the courage to say anything. Maybe I'm the cruel one for not defending her. Still, it's hardly surprising people fear them, especially after seeing how ferocious enemy mounts can be. That could never excuse the hurtful manner in which the rest of this army treats our own companions. Hey, I've been thinking, actually. Maybe there's a way we can help everyone overcome those fears. Oh, go on then. What if we gave them the chance to meet our wyverns and griffins up close? Outside of battle, I mean. We'd go on walks together, feed them treats. It would be fun. At least, I think it would. Yes, that's not a bad idea at all. Supplant their dreadful memories with positive ones. Can't wait to see what those three from earlier have to say once we force them into it. You mean you're really willing to help? I have to start planning right away. And you'll be joining the festivities yourself, right? Of course, Fran. Wouldn't miss it for the world. Fair enough. We actually saw, what was it, Hilda and Jerome? And their animals get pretty buddy-buddy? Again, I feel like the animals should have names. But... What are we thinking? Over here? That's Elaine and Liza, so no. Up here? Aubin and Liza, so no. Over here? Damn it! There we go. You know, I always wanted my sister to be just like yours. Smart, proper, a good dancer. Let you take Prim from me if that's what you're asking. Easy, easy. Just making small talk. Growing up, the only people Liza had for role models were fools like me and Aubin. It's no wonder she's just as rude and crass as us, maybe even more. Hell, I can't even give her a compliment without her getting all spooked about it. I would bet she's simply too shy to let you know how happy it makes her. Hope so, yeah. More than anything, though, I wish she would have just stayed as far away from this war as possible. I love Liza now. I hated her to start with, but I love Liza now that she has a heavy shield. Significantly improved. I guess I got Aubin to blame for that, for giving her that crossbow. My own damn self for teaching her how to use it. That's how life goes in the desert. Don't have a weapon, you're as good as dead. Not that I regret showing her the ropes. It's just, never forgive myself if she doesn't make it out of this alive. You considered telling her that? Sure have. Though I'm betting she'll get all weird about it again when I do. How about you? Thought about telling Prim how you really feel? Better to do it now, you know, before it's too late, I mean. I don't recall ever asking for advice, but I see your point, and I swear I'll protect Prim with my very life if I must. That was not what the suggestion there was. I don't know, like, that's not what he was saying you should do. He was saying, maybe tell her that you have those feelings before you get yourself killed. Or herself killed. Elaine and Hilda. Hilda is too dedicated to Prim to be a love interest, apparently. I'll not claim to mind Hilda, but it appears your wyvern has mistaken me for a midday stack. You won't claim to mind? He's been biting at my hair for some time now, rather forcefully, I might add. Seems he likes you, Elaine. Worry not, there's nothing to be afraid of. He simply wishes to hearten you through all the hardships you endure day after difficult day. Thanks, but can he not eat my hair? It should come as an honor, really. It does, most certainly. Yet I fear my life is at risk if this continues any longer. Please, I'll not hear a word of such spurious jokes. In truth, he often does this for me as well, whenever I find myself in a fit of melancholy. Could it be that you're feeling uneasy about something, Elaine? I hadn't thought it would be that obvious. Of course, I know that nothing will come from agonizing over the matter. Losing a soldier under my command never grows any less painful. A grief I'm all too familiar with, albeit under different circumstances. It's true that nothing torments the mind more than such sacrifice, but the good of many will always outweigh the suffering of a few. Nope, that's not necessarily true. Depends on what the good is. There's so many variables. Are you increasing the good of the many by 1% and murdering a few? Right? Like there's dials on those levers, baby. All we can do now is try to minimize our losses while ever striving to deliver peace to this world. Sure. I should expect no less from the man who seeks to be king. But you are, Hilda. Hey, it's Prem! Elaine, that blood on your forehead? Remind me to never be consoled by a wyvern again. Yeah, don't let it eat my head! What are you doing? No, don't be... Oh, you should be honored! It's eating my head! Stop it! Alright, Hilda and Prem. Hilda Prem! Right here? No. Right here? Hilda Prem! Another great trip to the market, but what should I eat first? Whichever it is, I certainly won't be going hungry anytime soon. Still as big an appetite as always, I see. Hilda, I'd appreciate if you didn't sneak up on me like that. How did she sneak on a griffin? Sorry, I should have said something sooner. But I have to admit, I'm relieved to see you've been eating well on your own. If you're just going to tease me, you can do it somewhere else. Dad, I need to remind you, Prim, but you should really be careful about where you keep your food. Once something's gone bad, you'll have no choice but to get rid of it, no matter how reluctant you are to do so. And always remember to watch after your valuables, too, especially if you're sharing a tent. You never know what manner of foul bandit might attempt to steal them after all. I know, Hilda. You've told me these things countless times over the years. What else? Never involve yourself with this well-spoken man. Hold up. There's no telling what cruel intentions he may hide beneath his debonair mask. Calm down. Whoa, hold up. Actually, it might be a bit late for that. Oh yeah, Prem and Aramis, right? What? Sorry, it's nothing. We'll never forget to stay alert. Keep your guard raised, and if you ever need help, you know where to find me. She's like super big sister over there. Hilda always has been rather quick to worry. But thank you, her father, and Elaine for bringing her back to me. I don't know about that one. I like Hilda mechanically as like my only wyvern rider, but I'm not sure I like her as a character, truth be told. Oh. Adel and Berenice. Up here, I guess? Probably. Monica and Liza. Prem and Hilda. Okay. It was like 5 steps over to the left, damn it. Hilda? I've been asked to do a little shopping in the city, and I was wondering if maybe you'd like to join me? Be glad to, as long as it doesn't take all day. Come, let's be off. That store over there has the most wonderful... What? The fuck is that? A galet? I don't know. It is a flat, kind of like an apple pie scenario. But it's like folded up and over, and it's crustier. Interesting. What's the pronunciation here?
Galette.
Galette?
Galette.
No, it's galette. Okay. Alright. We'll take that one. Galette.
Wonderful galettes, if you're feeling hungry at all. I am, but we're not here for lunch, Prem. Why don't we bring some back to camp for later? Sure we can't stop, just for a moment. I've been wanting to take you here ever since I first tried the place myself. We haven't even set foot in the market yet, let alone purchase the things we need. Oh, come on, there'll be plenty of time for that later. Hey, quit pulling!
Oh. Prem's being the forceful one.
Look at this hairpin, Hilda. It's perfect for you, don't you think? Enough, Prem. The others will think we've gone missing if we keep making childish detours like this. It's okay. I already told them we'd be back late. Now follow me to that store over there. I'm sure you'll love it.
I get the feeling that she just really wanted a day out with her big sis.
Well, that should be everything they asked for. Only it hadn't taken hours to get it all. It was some journey for one simple errand. Must have gotten a little carried away there, sorry. I guess I was just excited to be spending time with you again. Prem, but I suppose it can't last forever. Let's get back to camp, Hilda. Wait. I want to do this again sometime. On our own, I mean, not for someone else. And when we do, I'll have to pick out a new hairpin for you instead. You really mean that? I can't wait.
Okay. That was fine. I would love to, like, again, right on these, like, sibling scenarios or very good friend scenarios, I would love to know more of their history. Onwards to Gloucester. Has a 3-star with Aramis. That makes sense, because he was his former royal guard. We'll just start with Elaine, since he doesn't have a 3-star or anything. Over here, maybe? Yeah, there we go. Bum, 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 bum.
If I may, Gloucester, I hear that during your time as Prince Ludwig's retainer, you also saw to the well-being of Drakenhold's desert. Yet the distance between Soldraga and the southern reaches of the nation are great indeed. Why did you agree to such duties? When I was still a child, too young to even remember in truth, my parents were rescued while stranded in the desert. As such, I've always felt an indelible debt to the kind of people of those sands. To the kind of people of those sands? I'd just say to the people of those sands. A debt which only grew when my sister married a man from the region. She had accompanied Prince Ludwig on a survey of its dunes, assuming the role as his attendant amidst the scorching heat. It was then that she met a handsome young man in one of the desert's many towns. They grew close rather quickly, of course, and were betrothed not long after. But the day of their wedding brought greater sorrow than joy, for the hall was filled with naught but hateful whispers of the man's low-born desert ancestry. Yet rather than worry for themselves, my sister and her fiancé began to fear the world into which they would soon bring children. I knew in that moment that something had to change. This nation must become a land where all lives are celebrated, not merely those lucky enough to be born to a noble house. Only then will my nieces and nephews know true peace without the pain of prejudice heavy upon them.
See, so we've already heard in other conversations Gloucester's whole scenario on the desert thing, but this gives us more specific information, knowing his sister being wedded to a man from the desert.
It was an admirable dream, Gloucester. Once which I had begun to realize, I think that should be one which I had begun to realize, in fact, until my mind was so cruelly stolen from me. Now, all I seek is to bring an end to this war as quickly as possible. And once we have, I can resume my work to remake Drakenhold in earnest. Help me, my prince. Together we shall win a brighter future for this land and all its people. My blade is ever yours, Gloucester.
Yeah, that seems fine. For a singular conversation, that seemed fine. Got a little bit more backstory on Gloucester, actually, like finding out that he had a sister. Or has, I guess, technically. This one... Gloucester and Magellan. Sorry, Magellan, truly. Give it a rest, will ya? It wasn't your fault, and you know it. All the same,
My grief still lingers for the pain I've inflicted upon these lands. What can I possibly do to atone for such a failing? Nothing, really. But I get where you're coming from. Feels weird coming back to your senses, only for everyone else to be acting like you never even left. There's no denying the good you did for our desert. You never turned your back on us, even when the whole damn nation was calling us criminals. Somehow, still want to keep helping them, too. A lot of people in this country owe their lives to you, Gloucester. So yeah, doesn't matter what you did while you were gone. Just happy having you back. Thank you, Magellan. Anyway, enough of that depressing stuff. How about you and me talk more over a nice cold drink? I would be glad to. First, know that I shall ever stand in service of your people, just as I did for all those years prior. I don't know. Fair enough. Rapport! Aubin! What you got to say? Gloucester and Aubin. Gloucester, I hear you've been steering clear of your family ever since we set you free from Zenoira. How did you know that? They're worried about you, you know? Last they heard, you went off working with the bad guys and never came home. Now, I'm not one for giving advice, but you might want to stop by. Let them breathe easy after all this stressing. I can't do that. Not until we've driven Zenoira from this continent once and for all. Nor until I have atoned for the sins I've committed. Look, I didn't want to say this, but you never know what battle's gonna be your last. And think of how they'd feel if you went and died before you could ever tell them you were doing all right. They'd be stuck suffering that pain for the rest of their lives. I know that, damn it. I know that. But it changes nothing. I'm a knight of Drakenhold, and my sole duty lies in protecting my nation and her people. Thus, until that duty is done, I'll never yield to my own selfish desires for care or affection. You're not yielding to your desires or care for your own selfish affection. Words were in the wrong place all over that sentence. You're not yielding. You are performing a different duty. You are performing a duty and an obligation to your family and freeing them of their pain. So many times this kind of like similar sentiment comes up where it's like, I can't do this thing because if I go to these people, they'll what? Take the time. It's one thing if you're like, we are marching to war, and you want me to take 5 days while my army is marching this direction. You want me to take 5 days and march in that fucking direction to go talk to my family. That's understandable. I get that. But that's not what's happening right now, and that's not what you're saying. You're not saying that you don't have the time to take. You're saying that you can't go talk to your family, not because you don't have the time, but because you cannot face them until you have atoned. And that is selfish. That is fucked up. Little harsh, don't you think? I was not harsh. I was right on the money, Aubin. I know you're not talking to me. It is what it is. Apologies if I caused you concern. Yet I've no intention of leaving this world anytime soon. My family will just have to wait. If you say so. But if I ever run into him myself, I'm still gonna tell him you're doing okay. Well, that wasn't a happy conclusion. At all. Again, would have been a great, good arc, right? That conversation happens. The next scenario is, Aubin and Gloucester in a battle. Gloucester gets seriously wounded, but Aubin saves him. Gloucester has a
come to Jesus moment where he realizes that Aubin is right. And then the third conversation is Gloucester and Aubin going to visit Gloucester's family so that Gloucester can give them the peace of mind and get that off his chest. And in doing so, heal his own wounds a little bit, right? Like, in doing so, give himself some peace of mind in his quest for atonement. In the realization that you did bad things, even if it wasn't of your own free will, but you're holding that against yourself, and all you're doing in doing that is hurting the people that you love. Right? So that would have been a cool path of healing for Gloucester to go down. But we're not gonna get it. Berengaria and Travis now. Gloucester and Aramis. Here we go. The great honor to walk at your side once more, my prince. Sir Aramis, that is. Please, Gloucester, I'd much prefer if you refrained from scowling every time you said my name. Forgive me. I intended no such thing. Always have been fairly easy to read. Though you doubtless have much on your mind after our sudden parting and subsequent reunion. By all means, say what you will. You'll excuse my bluntness. You've changed. Not only in name, but swordsmanship and methodology as well. Fates have thrust you through much these past few years. Yet to see it laid so bare before me, I can't help but feel an immense sadness. It's nothing to lament, I assure you. At the time, claiming a new identity was the only path which promised my survival. And despite my struggles, I dare say I would make the decision time and again if given the opportunity. Prince Ludwig, what's done is done, though I admit you've renounced your past quite admirably. Mustn't be easy awakening from a years-long spell to learn you've committed such grave sins. He hasn't dispelled that. And yet you don't hide from the truth, but face it head on. Not really. It's a trait I wish I possessed myself. Your words humble me, Sir Aramis. But I entreat you, don't keep the pain you feel entirely to yourself. Excuse me? I know well the inclination. Yet if I can't be your aid amidst times of sorrow, I have no right to stand at your side in times of peace. Thank you, Gloucester. I couldn't ask for a more earnest retainer. Very well. Your ear will be the first and only that I pull. It doesn't happen. It hasn't happened frequently, but there are occasionally, like, severely discordant notes within these rapport conversations where it feels like, you know, you have a team of 5-10 writers writing out some of these little conversations, right? Type situation. And there's a lack of cohesion between some of them, you know? Because Gloucester in other conversations is absolutely not doing well with his prior time. Nope. Nope. Yes. I heard that you had need of me, Sir Aramis. How would you have me serve? Well, I was actually thinking we could go for a meal together. I'm sorry? Elaine mentioned there being a fine tavern in that town to the north there. I'd be honored to have you join me, if you're interested, of course. It'd be my humblest pleasure. Motherfucker, just come find me and ask me to go to dinner. Don't, like, send a summons. Exquisite meal, as promised. I'm simply glad we had the chance to enjoy it together. Now then, to camp. Is that all you asked me here for? It is indeed. But a meal, Sir Aramis. You must surely have something else you'd have me do. Moment's rest is all I wanted.
Did you not enjoy yourself? It's not it at all. I merely expected something more, I suppose. A reconnaissance mission or suggestions for how to improve in battle. What need is there for such grandeur amongst peers? You would truly count me as such. I would, and to be frank, I wish to burden you with orders no longer. I have discarded my name, buried my legacy. In my eyes, we are naught but equals. And I knew simply hearing the words would upset you to no end. Hence I asked you to join me for this meal instead, not as lord and retainer, but as old friends. And for what it's worth, I quite enjoyed myself. I do hope we can do it again sometime. Swords, 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 swords. The great Prince Ludwig turned simple sellsword. In the many years I've served him, I've never seen a smile play so sincerely across his face. Puzzling thing indeed. Perhaps discarding his name wasn't the mistake I thought it to be. Yeah, it was fine. That was okay. As a writer, I can always say I would do some things differently. Oh my god, there's still so many. There's still so many. Oh goodness. All right. Liza is untouched. Oy oy oy. Okay, we're getting there. Let's go from the bottom up, I guess, since Elaine, Aubin, and Magellan are have multiple hearts. Gotta be up here. Monica and Liza. Sorry about earlier, Monica. I could have sworn you were a bandit coming to stab us in the middle of the night. Please, if anything, I should be the one apologizing for startling you. Though you did give me quite the scare in return when you trained your crossbow on me. Yeah, now your fancy armor's all covered in dirt because of it. Not exactly the look I'd expect from a noble. Perhaps. Yet appearances mean little amongst fellow soldiers. Each of us are but equals, united as one beneath the Liberation's banner. Anyway, what I'm really wondering is, what were you doing out here all by yourself? I was hoping to gaze upon the stars for a moment. In my youth, I was often forced to cover my face in the finest makeups, garb myself in extravagant dresses. It was all rather constricting, as you might imagine. Yet at night, I would return to my room and stare out the window at the dark expanse which looms over our world. Compared to the endless stars which dot our sky, my problems felt trivial. Such a realization brought me great comfort indeed, as it still does to this day. Huh. I guess being a noble's not as easy as it looks. I always used to be jealous of people like you, you know? But hearing what you went through makes me glad I grew up in the desert. I was free, even if it meant struggling just to survive. Questionable. It's a privilege I long yearned for myself. I'm not gonna go on a rant of the poor rich person who had it so bad, and the poor person realizing, oh, the rich person had it so bad. I don't want that. Fuck you. Yet now that I've attained such a life, nothing could dampen my... Not to discount, like, what Monica actually has gone through, because we know she went through some shit with the whole Zenoira invasion, her family's lands being basically taken away because of the Clive betrothal, etc., etc. But that does not sound like this. Yet now that I've attained such a life, nothing could dampen my outlook, not even being covered in dirt from head to toe. Hey Monica, let's go to the Oasis together, next time we're in the desert. A place like that, you won't need any fancy makeup or expensive dresses. All you gotta be is yourself, nothing more. Same as when you're looking up at the stars. Sounds lovely, Liza, but I fear I never learned how to swim. Oh, don't worry about that. I'm a great teacher. Oh, I like that part. That's... I like learning that Monica enjoys stargazing. And I like learning her reasons why. But I don't know that I'm a fan of the whole... Oh no, the poor rich person. Liza and fucking Melisandre. Oh god, I've been kind of dreading Melisandre conversations. This really what this stuff is supposed to taste like? Something wrong, Liza? No, her voice is so squeaky, I can't do a voice for her. I've never seen someone grimace while enjoying a nice cup of tea. It's just a thing, actually. You mind trying to sip for me? Barely ever had it before, to be honest. No idea if I even made it right. Where exactly did you get these leaves? This is one of the finest varieties in all of Fevrith. Jalen gave them to me. Said they were some kind of payment for a job of his. Pretty sure he didn't know what to do with them either, though. Let's try it then. Ah, how horribly bitter. How long did you steep this for, Liza? I don't know. A few hours. Oh, oh boy, a few hours. Yikes. 2 hours, maybe? Figured it'd be better strong, so... Well, that explains it. Here, allow me to brew a proper cup for you. Feels weird having a noble lady make me tea like this. Also feels weird having Melisandre do this. She's so haughty. Isn't this the kind of stuff you have servants for? Colm does tend to prepare it for me, yes. I'm more than capable of doing it on my own. See, doesn't this look far more elegant than the murky stew you served me earlier? Maybe, but looks aren't everything. Gotta taste good, too. It will, I guarantee you that. Now drink up. Yeah, this is just water. I'm so happy that Liza's just like, I'm not a tea drinker. I suppose it is a bit weak. Again, I find myself unable to escape Colm's all-consuming shadow. I'll have to ask him how to make something nicer for us later, or ask him to make something nice for us later to apologize for wasting your leaves. That was fun. Sharon! Interesting. You gonna eat that bread, Sharon? Because if you won't, I will. Liza, wait! No! What have you done? I have to regurgitate it this instant! Too late. Should have said something sooner if you really wanted it that bad. That's not the problem, Liza. Yeah, well, I'm sorry for assuming you were gonna eat it. Or weren't gonna eat it. If anything, it looked like you were planning to get rid of the thing. Yes, because I was. That bun was more mold than bread. Just as I was asking the Father's forgiveness for wasting food, you arrived and snatched it out of my grasp. Oh, come on, a little mold never hurt anybody. I mean, think about cheese. We let that stuff go bad on purpose, right? No. There's a difference. There's a very big difference. Different mold. Just curious, though. You know any magic that can empty out a person's stomach? Yeah, it's called putting your fingers down your throat. Unfortunately, no. The only remedy will be to let time... No! No. No. If you know you have just eaten something bad, go puke that shit up. Do not digest it. Do not let it just stay in you. That is a terrible, terrible plan. Right. Anyway, don't worry, Sharon. I'll be fine. I hope you will. Perhaps I shall start praying for forgiveness again just in case. Bitch, you gonna die? No, she's not gonna die. She's just gonna get really sick. Eating moldy bread is not good. Been there, done that. Clive! No! Not you! Liza and Clive. I managed to find everything I was looking for, yet I admit, it was all rather pricier than usual. Yeah, that's because you got swindled. I'm not sure I understand. Right, guess it's not much of a thing where you're from. Here in the desert, it's harder coming by the essentials, so merchants try and charge you extra for them. The one who conned you must have been pretty new at it, though. I could barely keep a straight face. But you still bought the act, hook, line, and sinker. Not a whetstone in the world worth 5 times the going price. I suppose I did think it somewhat strange. Next time, you're better off just walking away if something doesn't feel right. Make the same mistake with a seasoned vet and he'll fleece you out of every last coin you own. By the way, I turned your friend from earlier over to the town guard. I watched the whole damn thing go down after all. Mean to say you witnessed me falling victim to his deceit, and you did nothing to stop it. More or less, yep. But hey, at least I got the rest of your money back. That's enough for another 4 whole whetstones. Indeed, it would seem I should thank you, both for retrieving my gold and for alerting me to the myriad dangers of this desert. How about you pay me back for it then? Maybe we could spend that extra coin on a fancy little meal in town. As you wish, though let's be sure to choose a reputable establishment this time. That was fun. So it doesn't really do, like, I like how we have this, like, mix of the desert is dangerous and full of bad people who will do bad things to you. You gotta have a weapon on you at all times or else you're good as dead, and it's a hard place to survive. And then we've also got the desert. It's just misunderstood. It's full of good people, and we shouldn't treat them like outcasts. like, pick an identity. Except, obviously, right in the real world, that is very true of scenarios as well, right? Like, it's not black and white. There are good people and bad people in pretty much all places. Aubin and Magellan? Am I on the wrong? I'm on the wrong person. Whatever. We Aubin Magellan. Whatever. Desert's changed a lot since I've been gone. Sure has. You ask me, the old way of doing things died with the boss. It was years ago, back when Zenoira was first coming into power. Even after they'd taken Drakenhold, they never gave this place a second thought. At least not till we started stealing from them. You can probably guess what happened next. They sent an army down here to try and stop us. Knowing you, I bet you made quick work of them. We did, but it wasn't long till they got their hooks in Gloucester. Before we knew it, him and the rest of Zenoira were cutting us down left and right. Me and the boss figured we could still talk him around, though. Trust me, we tried, but that wasn't our Gloucester. Not anymore. Killed her, Robin. Beat me half to death, too. After that, I can't remember a damn thing. Huh. Always knew the old shrew wouldn't go peacefully. Without her leading us, the rest of the gang scattered to the wind. It's funny. She always used to lecture us to hell and back when we were kids. Looking at it now, she was probably the closest thing to a mom we ever had. Zenoira's gonna pay for what they did to us. To me, to Gloucester, and to her. That's the way of the desert, yep. Never forget a debt you owe. It's like she taught us. Pretty good conversation. Alright, where the fuck is Liza Magellan? Wait, we should do Liza Magellan last. That's bro and sis. Let's do some... Well, we'll do Elaine last. We'll do Aubin next. Aubin Liza. Well, look who's gone and grown up. Feels like yesterday you were just some little brat hiding in your brother's shadow. Of course, we were all brats back then. Remember the days we spent swimming in the oasis? You, me, and Magellan? Not a shred of clothes between us? Wish I could forget, but some bastard never lets me live it down. Why'd you abandon us, Aubin? I was chasing a dream. Some idea I got out of a storybook the old boss gave me one year. Couldn't read a word of what it said, mind you, but I always loved looking at the pictures. Especially the oceans. The whole thing was about the hero sailing the world, finding new shores. And while most of us desert folk end up turning to crime, I wanted nothing more than to be that hero. So I hopped on a ship. Went all over. One of the nicest captains you can imagine. Till Zenora took our boat, that is. Living as a merc ever since. It's not what I asked. For the record, I know all about that dream of yours. I want to know why you didn't take me with you, damn it. You promised. I did? Don't tell me you forgot. Look, even if I wanted to take you, you were what, 7, 8? Ocean's no place for a girl like that. I did bring you something, though. Some kind of stone they say you can only get outside of Fevrith. Think this will get me to forgive you? I would love to know more about, like, if Aubin sailed to, again, super interested in the rest of this world, because Fevrith is only this continent, right? Super interested in the rest of the world. Again, ogre battle vibes going on there with the concept of having Unicorn Overlord or Dragon Overlord or, you know, whatever sequel kind of like scenario could be. But I would love to know more about where Aubin went if it was outside of Fevrith, because that would be really cool. You're dead wrong. I don't want your damn rock, and I don't want your lies either. Ooh, she mad. That could have gone better. Guess I've got Magellan and the old lady to thank for going soft on her all those years.
What?
Want a necklace out of this, huh? I don't know that I can do it, Liza. It's weird. Last I heard, people were saying you're the most skilled hand we got. Alright, fine. Just give me a few. Well, how'd it go? Yeah, I love it. Thanks, Kitra. Not sure that boring old stone was worth all the effort, but hey, whatever makes her happy.
It was just a fucking rock that Aubin picked up. It wasn't from anywhere. Oh no. That asshole. That's hilarious though, if that's the case. Like, truly. Truly hilarious.
What do you think? Pretty amazing, yeah? Never seen this much water in my life, except in your book, I mean. You mean the one the old boss gave you?
Is this a dream?
Yep, and I always knew what I got when I got my ship. The two of you would be the first people I took on board.
This is totally a dream.
Besides, what's the point of sailing the ocean if I don't got my friends here to enjoy it with?
This is that dream you were always talking about.
The hell was that? Like we hit a reef, Captain. We're taking on water pretty fast. She's going down. Ah! Hey, watch where you're going. What the? It was all just a dream? You okay, Aubin? You're sweating like a damn pig over there. Liza, you're alive. Wait, where's Magellan? He's doing a bit of shopping in town. Why? Quit with the hugging. You're gonna make me all sweaty now. Sorry. He had a dream. That's what this is about? Some dumb dream where we all died on your boat? Not funny. Really thought I went and got both of you killed. But if you did, I'm sure we wouldn't have minded going down with a friend. Not the point, Liza. Just can't bear seeing you get hurt like that. Especially knowing full well that it's my damn fault. Muttering about over there? It was just a dream, Aubin. Besides, I know it'll take more than that to kill us. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, when you do get that boat of yours, you better not go sailing alone, you hear me? Loud and clear.
Alright, that was fine. Again, I would probably change a lot of the specifics, but the core there is perfectly acceptable. Magellan and Liza.
Yeah, I hope you can forgive me. This what you've been up to, Magellan? Apologizing to everyone you wronged when Zenora had you on their leash? Doubt most folks will believe the truth when you tell them what happened. I sure didn't. I called a liar plenty already, yep. The ones who did buy it took the whole thing real hard. I'm finally back, Liza. Finally me again. so I can't just pretend like nothing happened while I was gone. Besides, it's my own damn fault for letting Zenoira sink their teeth in me. Maybe, but I didn't help when I noticed you were acting funny. All I did was accuse you of turning on us. Only I'd just gone over and smacked you out of it. Glad you didn't. Imagine how I'd feel waking up to find out you died trying to stop me. Not sure I could keep on living after that. Probably would have just ended it all then and there. Jill and I'm coming with. Next time you go out apologizing to people, I mean. Bet they'll be more willing to listen if you got me around. Yeah? Thanks, Liza. Never said you could hug me. Listen, I'm proud of you for hanging in there all the time I was gone. You better be. Don't ever even think about leaving me again. I won't, promise. Again, not like he had a choice. Magellan and Liza. Oh no, my headset's dying. That's okay, we're getting pretty close to the end of the stream. Not gonna stream past midnight. Looks like that's the last of the apologizing. Never could have done it without you, Liza, thanks. As if I'd let you keep embarrassing yourself alone. Never took me back, though. Still remember taking you around to meet the other scorpions years ago when you'd only just picked up that crossbow. And now look at you, leading the whole damn gang while I'm barely even on speaking terms with them. Ow, what are you punching me in the arm for? Makes me think, you know. If you can handle all that, then you'll be plenty fine once I'm gone. Gone? You saying you're not coming back with me once the war's over? Never claimed I was. Still got plenty of work to do. Tracking down everyone who left the gang while I was out of commission. I was thinking. You clearly haven't been thinking anything. You promised you'd never leave me again, remember? Slow down there, Liza. No! Do you know why I worked so hard keeping the Scorpions together? It was so you could still have a gang to come home to. No, I really did hate you for turning on us. But deep down, I always knew you'd be back. No matter what people said, I defended you. And now you're just gonna leave me again? Sorry, Liza. Because I shouldn't have gone and phrased it like that. I'm not leaving. Not for good, at least. I'm just gonna make my peace and come right back. What? That's what I've been thinking about. Letting you handle the gang while I was gone. Never realized how much you cared about me. This isn't funny. I thought you were abandoning me, Magellan. Hey! Like it for worrying about you. I already said, you're not doing this alone, so don't even think about running off without me. Okay, you can't have everyone not run off without you. Sister of mine sure is something, but I couldn't ask for anything else. I mean, you could, but it might not be a good idea. We are actually building up a lot of honors doing this. Okay, we'll probably finish up with Liza. It's been another 3.5 hours, and we've done, yikes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll have done 11. These actually take a long time to go through. These take a long time to go through. Oh my goodness. Liza Elaine down here. Could you tell me more about life in the desert, Liza? Sure. I wouldn't mind giving you the rundown. But what's a foreign prince want to know all that for? Haven't you got your own kingdom to be worrying about? Besides, there's no telling what'll happen if you go poking around where you're not welcome. You think I'm making a joke here? Not at all. Simply that beneath those pointed words, I can tell you only speak out of concern for my safety. Just as Alvin has always described you. I make that bastard pay for that. Yet your warnings are correct. I understand well how dangerous this desert can be at times. and I wish to know more of it, all the same. It's a necessary step in furthering Cornea's newfound bond with your nation. You've got some weird ideas in that head of yours, Prince. I take it that means you're willing to tell me? As long as you really want to learn, yeah. Just you wait. I've got stories a guy like you couldn't even dream of. I never grasped how vastly different life in the desert could be. Pretty rough, yeah? Gloucester used to complain about it all the time, too. I can only imagine. I'll be sure to speak with him as well at my earliest opportunity. Though I would much rather hear what you have to say, Liza, assuming you wouldn't mind sharing further, that is. Be glad to, but next time you're gonna have to pay me for it. I'll be sure to come bearing a worthy gift.
Oh! Wait, is it in the same place? It is. Lol.
Might I trouble you again, Liza? You really got nothing better to do, huh? Oh, what'll it be this time? I was actually hoping to hear about you rather than the desert itself. Oh yeah? And what good'll that be? I suppose none in particular. Yet is it not simply enough to simply wish to know you better? There's nothing to know. Besides, what would people think if they saw you talking to a random girl from the middle of nowhere? I appreciate the concern, Liza, but I promise it's entirely unnecessary. I'm not saying this out of some damn concern, but fine, I'll tell you. Blushing. It explains why you're so close with Aubin and Magellan nowadays as well. Yep. Got them to blame for my personality being what it is. Anyway, we good here? More than. I feel as though I've learned much about you today. And this is for you. The gift I promised to bring you when last we spoke. Cute ribbons. You really think something like this would look good on me?
Can't say. Again, a great opportunity for a insert item, right? Liza gets a, because I mean, Chloe already has her own, like, or is it Scarlet that has? Chloe has the pendant. Scarlet has her own ribbons or something like that, or a bow or something, right? Like, new unique item for Liza, cute ribbons, right? Easy way to make this rapport system more robust and mechanically impactful. And thank you again for sharing those stories with me, Liza. What do you mean you can't stay? You're walking off when I'm asking you a question. Yeah, that was pretty rude. I actually like Liza. Not the exact same place, but pretty close.
Liza, you're actually wearing the ribbons I gave you.
And see, it would be cool if we actually saw her. She's got these little black ribbons. If I don't know, they were like little pink ribbons or little white with flowers or something like that, right?
Blushing. Sure am. Had to take my other ones off to clean them, so... Well, I'm glad to see them in your hair, even if only as a temporary replacement. Though it comes as a surprise after hearing from Magellan you wouldn't be all too interested in them. Said that, huh? In truth, I was pleased you even chose to accept the gift. Though I'm all the more pleased to know how wonderful you look in them. Thanks, Elaine. Magellan was right that I don't usually go for this kind of stuff. But you better not go telling him about this. Or Aubin, for that matter. I wouldn't dare. Good. Still. Never complimented me like that before. Oh no. Feels kind of nice, too. You say something, Liza. Not a damn word. Anyway, what do you want to hear about? I feel like I'm running out of stories to tell you. I didn't come in search of a story, Liza. I came here because of you. Though now that you mention it,
That was such an odd ending to that. Like, that was such an abrupt... I feel like there was supposed to be something else to that. It was only a dream. Yeah. Yeah. Up to Monica. Okay. Goodness. We've now spent... Oh, okay. I'm about to end the stream. But I'm gonna chat for a few moments. We have spent probably about 8 hours or so doing the rapport conversations. And we are making headway, but damn. Obviously, way faster if you're just reading them solo and you're just flipping through, blah, blah, blah. Me reading them out loud and semi-doing voices takes significantly longer, and then I go off on tirades and little sidebars and rants and things like that. And, again, I do think the further we go, the more we will see, you know, right, like, Magellan has only 3 conversations left. I guess 4, or, nope, only 3, because we already did one of Bobbin's, right? Oakley's only has 4 conversations left out of 8. Colm still has most of his, right? So, like, we are picking into other people's conversations as we go up. So, in theory, the further up we go, the more we will see differing people have conversations already filled out. But at the same time, it also feels like the more we go up, the more we've got more conversations, right? Like, the earlier units tend to have more conversations with more people than the later units. So this could take another fucking 8 hours to get through all these rapport conversations, which is somewhat unexpected. I know I said previously that I was potentially going to do a longer stream today, or a split stream and do some of this, try to tack it out, but I got sidetracked with other projects today, and did not do that. I think I'm going to try to fit some more time in tomorrow. It's Memorial Day, so I've got the day off, so I might try to do an afternoon stream to try to make some more headway on these rapport conversations, because I do feel pretty invested now, and I would like to actually go through them all. I don't want to just be like, okay, well, I've done this enough, I'm done. But hot damn, this is taking a long time. So I think I'm gonna try to do an extra stream tomorrow to knock some more of these out. Probably another 2 or 3 hour stream in the afternoon, and then again just stream Unicorn Overlord tomorrow. But we probably won't get through, even with the extra stream, we probably won't get through the rapport conversations until Monday or Tuesday. So a little bit more on Unicorn Overlord than expected, but yeah, we're making our way, and we'll see how it goes. That's going to be the end of tonight's stream. I want to check and see if we've got anyone we raid out to. Got Cassie is streaming. We've got Rainbow Sparkles is streaming. Probably jump into Rainbow's stream. We haven't jumped into Rainbows in a while. We're gonna raid out. We will do that on the thanks for watching screen, because I need to go take a pee. So we will be back tomorrow for more Unicorn Overlord. We'll raid out in just a few. Thanks for hanging out. See you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.